All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Real Precious. I appreciate you guys for being here. I see the chat going off already. But if you haven't, definitely like this video, share the video. We're going to be talking about relationships and the ROI that men get in relationships. I posted a video and the video went crazy. But before we get into all of that, just want to say hello to my panel this evening, Sean and R. Payne. How you guys doing this evening?
Doing okay. How are you?
Doing good. Good.
I'm doing well too.
All right. All right. Ready for this conversation?
I want to match my brother Payne. Absolutely. I put on my stunners because I wanted to match my brother Payne.
The stunners. All right, now we're going to get into the comments, but I'm going to drop the link, of course, for anyone who wants to join the live. So definitely look out for the link. I'll post it or pin it to the top of the chat. But we'll also, post it every now and again, periodically throughout the live. So if anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome. Like I said, I posted a post on Instagram and it went crazy. And it seems as though the men feel as though they don't get any ROI in their relationships. Well, this man particularly doesn't. However, there were thousands of men who agreed with him. So we're going to get into it tonight because I think it's an interesting topic. We have other supporting videos pretty much asking questions and just reflecting on how women aren't really taught how to treat men. And so if that's the case, how can you get an ROI if a woman is not really taught how to treat a man? But we'll get there. We'll get there. Marriage, politics, and sports, aka R. Payne, is in the chat saying, great topic. I need reassurances that I won't get kicked off the panel tonight. You will not get kicked off the panel tonight. I promise you, you are here to stay. So don't worry about it. Okay. Fish in the Fit says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for being here. Christopher Sterling also says, good evening, all. Sean is also in the chat. Yes, we were, getting some things together in the background here. Well, at least I was. Jolie says, hey, family, guys, do me a favor. Definitely share this live and let others know that we are live right now because we're definitely about to have this conversation. I think it's going to be a good one. Like I said, I'll drop the link as we are going through the videos or after we get into the first video. I think it's going to be a good one. So here is the video that I posted on Instagram. I didn't know it was going to blow up the way that it did, but it has, and it is still going between this one and a couple other videos that I have posted. But this one in particular, and when I first saw the video, I'm like, well, like, what's the ROI, right? After he has expressed himself, because he is very expressive. Okay. And I'm like, well, I feel as though that the men should answer, what is the ROI you're expecting in your relationships? But we're going to get into the video and then we'll get there. All right.
I don't feel like shit. I feel like every time we get into it, she always feels something. Well, I just feel why. I don't feel like shit. I feel like logically you should do this, but this bitch be like, my feelings tell me that this. Are you feeling some type of way? I be chilling. Nigga, have you ever sat on your couch and be chilling?
Yeah.
And this bitch, I feel like there's something wrong with you because you're not talking to me. Bitch, I just want to sit in silence. Silence. And she will not let me do it. So I am sitting here to tell you, all of this thickness, it's not worth it. Next time you see a bad bitch, just look away. Show me a bad bitch and I'll show you a nigga tired of fucking her. It's me.
Wow.
I'm the nigga tired of fucking her. However, I invested too much time and a nigga like me is trying to get his ROI. Do you understand what that's like to get your ROI on a bitch? Yeah. You can never get your ROI on a bitch because bitches don't be giving ROI. It's not a... Woo! I just almost blew a fucking gasket. Okay. Where am I? Every time we get into it.
All right.
That's so funny.
So he feels as though women, although he called them bees, do not give ROI, and ROI is return on investment. There were some people in the chat that did not know what ROI was, so we're gonna plainly say ROI is return on investment. Someone makes an investment and they get a return on it some way, somehow. And he is saying that women do not give ROI. You know, he goes through all the rigmaroles with this woman to try to get his ROI, and he's saying that women don't give ROI. So, what's y'all take on it?
Go ahead, Sean. Yeah, he's going. Hey, listen. First of all, let's get this straight. I can't see a black woman standing here having a guy talk about her like that in front of the camera. I think it's. I know what the point that he's trying to make, regardless of whether it's a skit or not. So let's get that out of the way. I might surprise you. I might not be the best person on this particular one, except that I know the modern day woman expects more than what she's willing to give. Only reason why I know that is because I never hear the women saying what they're going to give a man, especially in these Instagram and YouTube and TikTok streets. I very rarely hear a woman say anything they're going to give in return for the man they want. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not alone in this. If somebody could point me to, I'm not talking about the Crimson Cures and all those. I'm the average everyday woman who gets on TikTok and whatever. I have very rarely seen any say, here's the things I'm going to give my man for all the shit I asked for. So the guys are telling you that, well, first of all, the guys ain't listening really when they get with these girls, because if you don't have what you need from them up front and discussed, and you still go into the relationship, it's your fault.
So when you say
women are kind of pragmatic that way. If they don't say what they're going to, if you don't ask what you want from them, they're going to only give you what they feel like giving you, because they don't want to satisfy the needs that you want. They're going to tell you and show you what they're willing to give for what they get. And for a lot of guys, ain't a lot. And what we're seeing is getting a box ain't enough. Ooh. It's not enough. You know, so for me, my real life experience is not like that. My wife caters to me. I'm spoiled like hell. I'm high maintenance as a mother. So I don't pity you guys out there, you know. But I do know, because I talk to a lot of guys. You know, so my lady's not like that. She takes care of me. She's probably sick of me, you know, probably, but she's stuck. I give her everything in return. That's what I do. So I only observe and I hear the men talking today. So I agree with them. A lot of women don't express what they want to give. They only express what they want to get, because women are receivers. And I'm going to end it here. Women are natural receivers. Mm-hmm. And if the man doesn't tell them at the moment, if I'm calling a woman, you got to actually say something. You got to actually inform her what you expect from her. If you don't do that and you continue with the relationship with your assumptions, you're making a big mistake.
Okay, so you're saying that the man has to pretty much lay down the law.
Well, it's not the law. Say, these are the things I require in this relationship. If you want to have a relationship with me, let's establish that. I want to have one with you. If the guy stops right there with actually not saying what he expects, then he's at a deficit. He's assuming that she understands that he wants sex, he wants this, he wants that. If he never says it, that's not, he's making a mistake. He is making a mistake, because I can guarantee you she has expressed the things she expects from him. Mm-hmm. You know, especially in the modern era when women want men to be traditional, and that's the last thing women want to be, is traditional these days. You know, that doesn't mean you can't have a relationship. You just need to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what you're going to do. And you're not going to get 100%, but you got to be satisfied with the answer she gives you and the actual actions she takes, before you say, hey, listen, I want you to be my wife. Mm-hmm. If you don't do that, you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. That's on the man. We own the gate. We own the gate to marriage. Okay. That's the way I look at it. So let me land it there.
Sean, before you go, I just wanted to say hello to Hank. Hank, how are you?
I was going to say this.
Tonight? How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
How was your? I haven't seen you since you got married, really.
I know. Congratulations.
How is honeymoon bliss going?
Oh man, I saw Hank was on the Peep show, I think last night or whatever. Oh man, that was funny with those chicks on there. Oh my god. Anyway, go ahead, Hank. How you doing?
Oh, that's that.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
There we go.
It's all good. I'm back in the building. It's been a while since I've been over here.
It's been a while.
I just want to make sure I didn't. Precious didn't break my plate. Saying I wasn't welcome no more.
Oh no, you're always welcome. I know people got lives. People are busy. You and your wedding bliss. Look, I'm understanding. I get it.
Nice.
All right. So, Hank, did you see
the game for Hank? Before we go, you want to play it again for Hank?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it again.
I don't feel like shit. I feel like every time we get into it, she always feels something. Well, I just feel why. I don't feel like shit. I feel like logically you should do this, but this bitch be like, my feelings tell me that this. Are you feeling some type of way? I be chilling. Nigga, have you ever sat on your couch and be chilling?
Yeah.
And this bitch, I feel like there's something wrong with you because you're not talking to me. Bitch, I just want to sit in silence. Silence. And she will not let me do it. So I am sitting here to tell you, all of this thickness, it's not worth it. Next time you see a bad bitch, just look away. Show me a bad bitch and I'll show you a nigga tired of fucking her. It's me. Wow. I'm the nigga tired of fucking her. However, I invested too much time and a nigga like me is trying to get his R.O.I. Do you understand what that's like to get your R.O.I. on a bitch? Yeah. You can never get your R.O.I. on a bitch because bitches don't be giving R.O.I. It's not a... Woo! I just almost blew a fucking gasket. Okay. Where am I? Every time we get into it.
That is so funny.
Oh man. So let me chime in real quick. This is why I argue with us men. Payne, you and I have gotten into it plenty of times about just looking at a chick and wanting to just hit the skin. Because that's where you wind up. When you go ahead and you don't do no vetting, you don't do no character research, you just want to, as you would say it, want to clap the cheeks. This is why I always be on men talking about having discipline. Because you go ahead and clap the cheeks, and then you end up in that situation he just described, because he is the one, like he said, find me a bad chick, and I will find you somebody who don't want it, because I am that person. That's why I always say, yo, don't just go after your manly ways, your desires. Just everybody want to just how you say it, Payne? It's our human nature. Every man just wanted. That's why we gotta have discipline right there.
But I think he was referring to being in a relationship with the woman for some time. I don't think it was just you see a bad B and you have sex with her and you want this R.O.I.
You didn't hear him, did you? He said, I am trying to get my return on the investment of time that he put in. And now that's the only reason why he's with her. Not because he like her, not because he want to hit no more, because he already done got what he wanted. He wanted to hit. That was his main thing. That's why he said, when you see a thick chick walk by, just turn your head. When you see it bad, just turn your head. That's why he said that, because that's all he was focused on. He was focused on clapping them cheeks, as Payne would say. He was focused on doing a.
Don't bring my name into it, man. This is your scenario.
I'm sorry. I like messing with you, Payne.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Seriously, that's why I'm always so adamant with fellas who be lying to get the cheeks, who be I'm following my nature. I need to do this, because really all you doing is falling victim to your lustful desires. And that man, I'm sorry if you didn't see it, coach, but that man is the result after you get over it, after you done spun her around, flipped her, did everything that you could do with her, every hole that you can figure out in her. That's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Do you think it's only men who do you okay, so are you saying that men who are in long-term relationships don't feel this way?
No, I'm not saying that at all. Men feel that way. Yes, men in long-term relationships feel that way. Men in short-term relationships feel that way. It's not about how long you're in a relationship. It's about the mentality of the woman that he was describing. You know, all of the little idiosyncrasies that he was describing. I feel it, and I feel. We go through this every week. We talk about this. You are loyal to your feelings, and your feelings are fleeting. And if we follow these feelings, we will go crazy. That's what he's going through right now. He's going crazy. He said, I blew a gasket. That's why he blew the gasket. Because he's realizing this now. But it's his own fault. Because he was the baddie. He just wanted to clap them cheeks. Man, yo, got a fat one. Yo, look at that. Look, man.
I think he wanted more from her than just clapping the cheeks. I think that's his girl. You know, he's just not satisfied with the outcome. You know, I think it's more than that.
Yeah, because what is the ROI for clapping cheeks? Like, is there a ROI for that?
Listen to what he said.
Oh, don't answer bad dad, of course.
He said that's what he wanted. Once he got that, how they say, you know, once you get that,
well, you might have to play it again for
play it again. Play it again, Mr. Coach. Listen to this, sir.
What's going on, Coach?
How are you? All right, let's start again.
I don't feel like shit. I feel like every time we get into it, she always feels something. Well, I just feel why. I don't feel like shit. I feel like logically you should do this, but this bitch be like, my feelings tell me that this. Are you feeling some type of way? I be chilling. Nigga, have you ever sat on your couch and be chilling?
Yeah.
And this bitch, I feel like there's something wrong with you because you're not talking to me. Bitch, I just want to sit in silence. Silence. And she will not let me do it. So I am sitting here to tell you, all of this thickness, it's not worth it. Next time you see a bad bitch, just look away. Show me a bad bitch and I'll show you a nigga tired of fucking her. It's me. Wow. I'm the nigga tired of fucking her. However, I invested too much time and a nigga like me is trying to get his ROI. Do you understand what that's like to get your ROI on a bitch? Yeah. You can never get your ROI on a bitch because bitches don't be giving ROI. It's not a... I just almost blew a fucking gasket. Okay. Where am I? Every time we get into it.
That's so funny. His boy is tripping me out, man. He's so funny. He's like, oh my God, was she gonna snap or what? He was like scared as hell. He said, man, what you know what you're saying? Wait a minute. Oh man. Go ahead, Trey. Go ahead, Ferg.
No, really, I understand that that's a skit right there. The guy, he's always on, you know.
Well, forget the skit part, you know, but go deeper than that.
Everything he's speaking is a result of his own actions. Everything he's speaking, you know, guys go in, lead with money, lead with the assets, as they would say, because they have a lack of confidence or whatever, you know. I don't know if it's about the looks or not, but it's really the confidence that, and he goes in with all of this. I don't know. He's claiming she's a baddie, and that's where they go wrong, because the bad ones really, it should be all natural, everything like Miss Precious with the short hair, the Holly Berry, you know, it's a different. I don't want to go too far down that road, but you know, he ain't even really investing nothing anyway. Guys don't really invest nothing but a little time, maybe, you know, because apparently
invest training her. to be the woman he needed.
But our pain apparently guys don't understand. They don't have that level of training already when they enter these situations, and they just going along with the ride for the most part. Because if we really look at it, if he was a guy that's on his square, then he wouldn't be having this issue right now with seeing a baddie. She would have been having an issue with him because he's understanding what his purpose is already. But as far as like this video and this scene, you know, guys bring it on themselves. They bring it on it. They come and they looking to provide a resource just for a poo nanny. They don't have the confidence. You know, if you meet a woman and you are attracted to her, if she has any attraction to you, especially initially, and she wants to move forward and get in to know you, then she goes to the ballparks that you go to. You know, whether it's where we going out to eat at. I know it's a little hot chicken spot over on 3rd Street. I'm gonna get on over here. You want an 8-piece or whatever with some sauce on it? You know, if not, keep it moving. But you know, whatever it is, I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. I ain't had these problems, man. Just the fact that guys had these problems is sometimes I get lost for words because I'm like, you chose to talk to her even after she showed you who she was. Like he said, you didn't leave her ass at the restaurant, but then you done gave all your time and energy. Now it's like, she did me wrong. No, you did yourself wrong because you saw that shit. And she wasn't that bad anyway because that's all she had was maybe a nice little booty, but she probably smelled like pee or something.
Okay. Those first, y'all don't be offering Nathan. All right, what about Hank? What you think?
Yeah, I don't know what Sean was saying. Right, talking about discipline. I just think my man, he just was trying to warn that guy about getting into a relationship that that you don't get a return on your investment on. You do have some women that are like that you'll never get a return on. But then you have some that you will. You know what I'm saying? So I just think my man invested into a money pit. So he's got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think there's no way out of it. You know, he's like he said, he's too far gone into it. He didn't pull way too much money into to get out now. You know, he don't need to fatten the frog for these snakes to eat. And so I guess that's what he's feeling like right now. He don't fatten the frog for these snakes to eat. So he's like, hey, I put this much money, I might as well stay with her. You know, she put up with my bullshit. I might as well stay with her, even though I'm not gonna get much to little return. But she's here, so I might as well just stick with it.
Yeah. What I was talking about, Hank, was when he said, when you see thickness, turn away. So he was intrigued by her thickness. That was his first word. Then he said, when you see a bad B, I will show you somebody who's tired of F in a bad B. So that was his whole premise, is that's what attracted him, according to what he was saying. And that's what I was talking about. What he was saying is, men have discipline, look away. Leave it alone. Don't even get intrigued. Don't get hypnotized. But never trust a big button to smile, so to speak. But that's what he. That's
it's showing, man. The dick discipline goes as far as the next woman who tickles your fancy. I mean, men are attracted to women, man. The next woman he looks at to go approach, is because she appeals to him so much. Most men don't go up to a 400-pounder and say, you know what, I'm gonna make you my wife, right? They get attracted first to the women that appease them. That doesn't mean you have no dick discipline, right? That doesn't mean that, and you're conflating some issues.
No.
He went too far because he got hypnotized by the booty, maybe, right? That maybe I'll give you that.
Discipline is when you are attracted, but other attributes are not suitable or not to your advantage, and you choose not to go there. That's discipline.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, you're always attracted. I'm attracted to a lot of people that I will not deal with sexually because
his thing isn't dick discipline. His thing is that he didn't ask the right questions when he had a chance to.
Yeah.
You know why? Because his question was, when can we get in the bed? When can I touch that? When can I be part of the you? Wait, that's what his questions
Yeah,
was.
but he didn't have to get all in a relationship to get that. I mean,
Nope.
you know, he sounds like he's in a relationship with this woman.
Yep.
You know, so he didn't need to
I
do
think
that far to get the booty, right?
So
Not
do.
these days, from what I understand
Okay.
from all you newfangled guys, right? You don't have to do all that.
Okay.
Nope.
Right.
Fellas,
I
listen to
think
that,
women,
And
Mary.
let me
I
give
think
you a little
women,
secret. We didn't have to do all that back then either, but you know, in the dinosaur days, I won't let you guys keep that fantasy that we had to do
Nah,
all
it
that.
ain't that.
You know.
Fellas,
I
listen
say,
to that married man
hey,
right there. If
pressure.
you want
I
to.
see ain't nothing changed. These dudes ain't gonna pass the goddamn microphone at all. Okay, at least I know it's one thing still stay about you
Hey,
guys.
listen, man. I was done. I was done. I'm gonna
It's
start
like
saying my little
it's
catchphrase.
like it's like Lord and Hardy.
I'm
They're playing off each other. No, but I look at it
I'm
like this.
sorry. Hey.
I just think that the man is probably regretting, you know, that he didn't really go deep into detail as far as getting to know her better. I think that's what it is, more so than just, you know, he fell in love with the exterior and realized, yeah, she doesn't have much more than just that. What's between her ears is not really what's between her ears. And so I think he's disappointed in that. And so now he just had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what the case is. So
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Sean, to your point, you know, when you holler about this discipline, right? Now, I'm going to speak outside of your 50-year-old self and go down to your 22, 23, when you like them nice and fit, when you can do 50 push-ups and all that, when you was in the game with your shades on over throwing up your baby oil bottles and stuff like that, right? So were you attracted to that so-called baddie? Because a baddie back then was to me was a lot different than they got today. Was you attracted to that big button to smile?
Well, Coach, I never said I wasn't, but you got to realize, Spider-Man and Freeze, I grew up with them.
Okay.
They the ones who wrote Poison.
Okay.
So Poison was something that was a theme of ours prior to the song, and that was when I was in my 20s.
Okay.
So we
So
understood.
Okay. So you took the Michael Jackson approach when it came to the women?
No. What I'm saying is that
Was you out there clapping cheeks, Sean, when you was young?
what I'm saying is that, well, yeah.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that why I say dick discipline is because I guess when I was young, I found out and learned at a young age that you just can't, you don't indulge in everything that is appeasing to you.
I
Or
know,
that is,
Sean, we all do that. You know, now we can look back and be like, "Ooh, man, yes, you can say that." But however, when you're talking to a 24, I'll just say I always go with the adult age, 21 to 31, a guy who really wasn't that type of guy when he was a teenager. Now he done grew a little taller, got his work, he's making his good money, got his new little car, he's riding around, he's seeing a whole new type of woman that he didn't see when he was young. Man, it's gonna be hard to say, man, listen, you're gonna have to practice this. And you know, and a lot of these guys go after this because they present that to the guys. It's like an easy access to them. And then when they get in it, they don't even really think like she was trying to play me anyway. She was out for the bag, because a lot of women they think like, oh, I can get him because he don't look like he's tough. Like the type of shades you wear wouldn't be like, I don't know, he might be a little soft, but somebody over here, I can get him to take me out. And somebody over here, he gonna come through with after I get the doggy bag out of Sean. And then, you know what I'm saying? I think that's where the messages get lost there, because yes, be more disciplined in the type of woman that you choose. You know, I think that that's important, but to tell even a 22-year-old woman not to give him cheeks up, man, come on, man.
well, Coach, you asked me a question and let me answer you. At 17, I was an artist professionally, going on tours, and I honored the relationship. So you're talking to the wrong person when it comes to that. Now, when I wasn't in a relationship, yeah, I went ahead and did my thing. Problem is, it was too much drama and bull crap that I had to deal with. So I had learned, you know what? Nah, I'm good. So yes, I was very disciplined at 17 years old, which is younger than the 24 that you're talking about. So I can't really relate or have that much compassion or empathy when it comes to that. I understand it, but that don't mean I don't sit there and say because someone couldn't do it when I was able to do it that it can't be done.
Yeah, I agree it can be done, you know, but it's gonna like your message that you telling. You, again, some messages have to go to the ones who haven't gotten to the space. It's gonna be. I would like to find 100 young black men and say between now and 35, would you sleep with just one woman and see what your answer?
Some
I
lessons
mean,
got to be learned the
you're
hard way.
absolutely right. Go ahead, Payne.
Some lessons just simply have to be learned through experience. I mean, if we could give our experience to people and save them some time, some angst, and some hurt and trauma, that would be great. But that's not the real world. You know, and especially with men. You ever try to talk a friend out of not going with a bad relationship, a man, or he's in a bad one and the chick got his nose all busted open? You can never talk him out of it. He's got to go hit rock bottom, right? She's got to break his heart. He hits rock bottom, and then you sit down there and you make sure you tell him, I told you so. You know, you rake the dude through the coals and say, don't ever do that shit again. Right? And ask me how I know.
It's
Right?
22 hours.
Ask me how I know, because I've been there. And my frat brothers raked my ass through the coals when I was busted open for this girl. Thank God I was only 19. Man, it was unmerciful, okay? And so I never went there again, ever. Ever, 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 ever. Never, ever? Never, ever. You know, so you learn some shit through experience. Because they was telling me about her all along. You know, so anyway, so that's just one. So sometimes you just gotta learn through getting your ass beat. That's it. That's it.
That's what I say about the women too. Good evening, Kenny. How are you?
The only thing with the women, sometimes they have a deposit, and you can't come back from that easy.
That's rock bottom.
Kenny?
Here.
I think Kenny in the car right now. What up, Kenny?
Hey, what's up, Kenny?
Oh.
Yeah, what up? Just give me a minute.
He in them streets. Oh, y'all.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear what he got to say. He out in them streets.
In the street. There you go.
Sean,
he's over there on O Block.
Sean, I want to ask you. You talked about being in a relationship, right? At a young age. Do you feel as though you received ROI, your return on investment on that relationship?
No.
Why?
Because let me say this. I learned through the relationship as well. And that relationship specifically, I would say if I was to think about it now in hindsight, she probably loved me more than anybody else. But part of the reason I didn't get a return on that relationship is because I left the relationship and wouldn't go back or forgive or have give her the grace that she deserved when she started changing. But I will say that if I was to do a survey of the people who loved me the most in my life, as far as relationships I had, she'd probably come up on top. So it would have been a return had I allowed it, but I know I didn't allow it.
Wow. Okay. So that brings me into my question of what is the ROI men are looking for in a relationship? Because like I said, I posted this on Instagram, got a lot of hits, got a lot of shares, got a lot of comments, a lot of engagement. And I would say a lot of the men were saying peace, sex, and something to eat. Okay. Now we know what sex and something to eat is. Those things are very tangible. But when it comes to peace, you know, a lot of men say that they want peace, but that word is not something that is necessarily tangible. You can't touch it. You can't feel it in a sense. physically. So not to be putting words in you guys' mouth, but what is the ROI men are looking for in a relationship?
Who wants to go first?
Sean, we'll start with you because you said that the woman loved you and she was starting to change. However, you didn't. You didn't. You chose not to receive it, or
Too young to have the power of grace and forgiveness. I didn't have it. I didn't have the maturity for that. But that's why I said, in hindsight, I really know that, she really would have given, she loved me to death. I mean, that's the one who I shared with y'all earlier this year, passed away. And her current man, who I had never met, came up to me and was like, "Yo, she loved you."
Oh, Jesus.
I said, "You too." And so the family, that's kind of when I learned even more so how much she actually really loved me. And but again, we were friends, we went our separate ways. But in hindsight, yeah, definitely. In return, I would say I wish the R stood for reciprocation, because reciprocation is a very significant thing that we would love in a lot of different ways. It can be reciprocation in feelings, reciprocation in peace, reciprocation in finances, reciprocation in consideration, reciprocation in goals, so on, so on, so forth. But that's what I wish that R stood for in this R.O.I, because return is just basically doing what we would do for you, or at least considering to do what we would do for you. And that's what I did wind up getting. She would have done for me, because I had did a lot for her. And she would have done for me the same had I given her the opportunity, but I just wasn't mature enough to do so.
okay, okay. Good evening, Mr. Stanway. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Real Precious?
I'm doing well. I think, is this the first time you've been on this panel?
Yeah, this is the first time I've been able to catch a panel. I've been a long time watcher though.
Oh, okay.
Much respect. I wanted to tell you I admire the way you carry yourself. You carry yourself like women, women should carry themselves. Like, salute.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining the panel. Glad to have you. Kenny is
What's up,
still
man?
situated. Did you see the video?
Yes, I actually did. And you were speaking on it when you was talking about the reciprocation, the peace, and things like that. That's what we're expecting back in return from a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Individual attention. You know what I'm saying? We want your individual attention. Because I was speaking about this on my podcast. Like, you got women out here juggling, and you got dudes out here juggling too, even though it's not the same dynamic. But a person can't really learn who you are as a man if they got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's for both sexes. So what we looking for is just somebody who's showing us that they're actually in the moment or in the relationship instead of all over the place.
Okay. Okay. Arpain, what is the ROI men are looking for in a relationship?
Yeah, see, you know me, I always distinguish between just a relationship and a marriage since I've been married for so long. I don't think they're the same things. Okay. But lucky for me, when I was out there on the prowl for my 8 years of experience before I got married, I tell people this, and I really believe it. Now, this is in hindsight, because this is what YouTube has done for me, helped me reflect. I actually liked all the women that I had sex with. I believe I got some nuggets from every one of those relationships. Every single one of them, something, because they were all different. And since I didn't just toss them away as if they were a piece of meat, we had conversations, we talked, we did this and that, and some were long, some were short. But I learned a lot. My first girlfriend taught me everything I needed to know about a woman's anatomy. Thank God she wasn't a freak, or else I'd be crazy, So she was kind of straight up. And I was 17. I consider myself a late bloomer. But as far as I'm concerned, I had like different factions. So I didn't call it a ROI. Nobody talked that way back then, 100 years ago. But I got nuggets from each one of them. And it was a woman who taught me some of the best lessons I learned. And we didn't have sex. It was just a lady that was a little older than me. We had a conversation. And she told me, said, listen, because I was down and out for something. This was part of this whole thing I learned from the frat brothers dragging me for getting my nose busted open. She said, listen, the only power a woman have over you is what she has between her legs. If you acquiesce that to her, then you lost. Right? Not that you have to be a butcher, but if you get trapped into the fact that you can't see past the fact that she's your conduit for sex, and that's it. A lot of men get trapped in that. They do a lot of stupid things for women based on the fact that they have a scarcity mindset. Right? If she leaves, I will never get another woman like that. I'll never have that kind of pleasure again and all that. Wars have been fought for that kind of stuff. So I learned that early. I really learned that early. I never was in that position again. I always try to keep my head straight. And so when I started to interact with women, I made sure that I was going to get something out of her, just like she's getting something out of me. But when I got married, we talked about respect. I talked about exclusivity. We talked about the fact that once I marry you and you want me to be monogamous, you can't be cheap with the sex. Men don't talk to women like that. Shit. If I'm gonna have to be monogamous with you, I'm not gonna don't be using your sex as a reward or a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we've been, you know, I'm old as hell, man. I don't even know why my wife even can get it up with me, right? But she's still as accommodating today as she was before. You know, but I give her everything. She caters to me, but I give her everything. Not only while we're alive, she's set if I'm dead. You know, women don't act like that with men. So I'm not really, so I got all the R.O.I. You know, I'm pretty high maintenance too. You know, I get all the R.O.I. I need from my wife. And I don't envy the young guys who can't get it from women today. But I think that if they understand the nature of women, they can get it too and stop listening to this bullshit on the internet.
So besides sex, what other forms of ROI does your wife?
You know, real quick, my wife understands, well, you know what, she's kind of old school too.
Mm-hmm.
She understands that a man's ego needs to be in place. So she knows she never embarrassed me outside. She, you know, she doesn't worry about me. She doesn't say, I need to check your phone. I need to do all this. She has utmost respect for me, just like I have for her, whether I'm in her presence or not. Right. And that's why I don't worry about her either. I mean, so I'm not a good representative of this conversation from the standpoint of men not getting ROI, because I can't complain about that. I can't.
I think you're a great representation of a man who gets the ROI. And so,
and it's not much. If your woman respects you, and you could touch each other's spirit from the standpoint that you don't have to worry about her when she's not in your presence, and she doesn't have to worry about you, then you got something there. So respect is at the top of the list. Exclusivity and all that other kind of stuff that goes under that, that's all part of the umbrella of respect. If she respects you as a man, her husband, her leader. I didn't ask when God said, well, my wife lets me leave. What the fuck are you talking about? She didn't have to let it. She wouldn't be my wife. I just assume leadership, period.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Period. I didn't say like, oh, baby, you know, no. You're going to be married to me, I leave. You follow. But she has complete autonomy under the umbrella. She could be, I'm going to end it here. When the modern women act like they're in some kind of binds with a man, you get the right man, you can still get education. You can still start a business. You can still do everything you want to do as a woman in a marriage. The only thing you can't do is give that ass to another man. That's it.
Oh, that's right.
That's it. You could do everything else as long as it falls under the umbrella that we had, that we arranged, or the vows to God. You could do everything under that umbrella. Matter of fact, if you're biblical, those women weren't just waiting for husbands. They were busy. They were business owners. You find a good wife, right? They weren't just sitting down here waiting to get picked. They had shit that they brought to the table.
Mhm.
You know, so let me just shut up, man. Go ahead. Who's that? Who's that?
I appreciate it. We're actually going to dig into that a little later in another video of a wife speaking about her experience as a wife. So I'm glad that you brought that up. But thank you. I appreciate your insight on that. Kenny, we all good?
Peace to the
What's up,
panel.
Kenny?
Thank you for inviting me to the panel. From the bit that I was able to consume and listening to Payne talk about stories when they had black and white TVs, everything is back online with me. The women are not the same today. The rules are not the same as for engaging today. Non-traditional is the way, but women still want the same results from men. There are also men that make the game messed up because they don't follow traditional values. They think that they can honor a woman by just inseminating them and then beating the streets and thinking that it's Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. So we're all responsible for what's happening today. What is the ROI men are looking for in a relationship? I get what Precious said, peace. A woman that could spin a pot and turn a dumpling, as the West Indians would say. And the ability to have communication beyond finance. The biggest breakup of relationships is the skew within communication, that people are unwilling to sit down at the table and say, you know what, before we go to sleep at night, we're going to get this right. Because we ain't going to take this grudge into another day, because God forbid you don't wake up in the morning and I held this on my chest. I will have regret. So people are so willing to quit on something that they took vows forever for. They don't go back and read those words when they felt a certain type of way and they felt the butterflies inside while family and friends looked, and they made that commitment under God or whoever they chose to believe in. Those values fly out the door when adversity comes. That means you really didn't buy into it. The medicine within the Kool-Aid you didn't drink, you just tossed it over your shoulder while one person did, or maybe none. When that gets corrected, you won't have.
Thank you.
As for what we need to get right, this conversation would be a non-negotiable. It wouldn't need to be had because everybody get in line. That's all I have.
Okay. Sean, Coach Ferg, did y'all comment on what's the ROI men are looking for in a relationship?
I mean, from both R.Payne and Sean, I can understand Sean's sentiment about it. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit younger than me, but I can understand in some capacity. But I always believe that, out of all the women that I came across, not everybody is going to be qualified to be my wife, and not every woman would qualify me to be their husband just because of the person who I've always been. I've always had to deal in reality because my father told me that he was the one, and as I moved throughout my life, this is my second marriage. And when I was younger, I don't think I was quite focused on it. I was in the military at the time, moving, so I was exposed to a little bit more stuff than, I was putting myself in those situations also, but then I had enough respect to allow it to just dissolve like the way it did, and there wasn't really any beef out of it. You know what I'm saying? Everything was good. But then from, I'll say about 20 years in between, 15, 20 years in between, when I met women or whatever, I stood on the person that I was. A woman, could have just as good a time with me hanging out at the park, talking and laughing, going to the drive-in, playing putt-putt, the little simple qualities, sitting over a plate of dinner at the table, and I'm a little old school. You can call it simpish today, but I might even fry you a burger at the crib if I know you coming through. I'm gonna do different stuff. I was a different. I like be outside, inside. I could skateboard, do crazy, do man stuff, and I can put a roof on your house if you needed that done. But again, that was going to be a return in my investment. But I always had those conversations prior to me moving beyond this initial second or third contact. I wasn't going to invest anything if I knew you were not going to invest. And when I was looking for my wife, I don't even gonna say I was looking, but I knew that anybody I wanted to meet as I'm older, she would have to take all of her Halloween candy and dump it out on my table. And we're gonna sort through it. What can benefit us? Yes, bring it. What can't? No, we ain't even gonna bring it in. That spirit can't even come into our space. And I've been married 11 years, and the fact that my wife trusts me so much. If I need to go somewhere, she booked the hotel. If I need to do something, she's sort of being the secretary about it, giving me the itinerary. Cool, because we have those conversations, and I give her the return on investment because anything outside of my house, she can't touch. If this has anything to do with outside, but she also is going to give me a return on my investment. She works all day and she cooks for me. I'm retired at 54. I don't have to do nothing because she allowed me to just say, here, you've earned that space. I see how you work for us. I'm going to work for us. You protect the outside. I'll take care of the inside. And it just works. We have conversations. We can sit out on the porch and laugh and talk, about each other. We laugh and talk about each other. So I don't think a lot of people get to that point, what I'm saying, but it works for us. And the way she'll fight for me, let somebody say something crazy and she hear it. I'm calming her down. No, go ahead. Everything's good. But to that level, it's just so much comforting and so much respect that, it's hard to explain sometimes because I feel like I'm living in a dream. Like, hold up, but she always tell me, I thank God for you because you helped me become a better version of me, which I think it works for everybody. It just depends on who you find. We only go find 3 people in our life that we should marry. 2 of them we gonna play around with. Then that last one, we might, okay, let's settle. But it just works. Everybody's different.
Damn, I need to say something.
Say something, bro.
No, I was waiting for you to finish, brother. I was waiting for you to finish.
I'm done.
What's up, Lamont?
Hello, Lamont Charles. How are you?
I'm fine. I finally made it.
Finally made it.
Finally made it. Let me just say this real quick because I got to bring this in first. My Facebook post causes a lot of controversy because there's too much truth into what I say. Based on the conversation you guys are having, what I'm noticing is that men, we see value in our women, but women don't really see value in us. Men, we're really good at paying attention to certain things. They think we're not paying attention, but we are. You know what I mean? I can't speak for all men in attendance, but I can speak for the men that are more than likely like me. And I believe the men on this panel is pretty much like me because I'm looking at the salt and pepper. You know what I mean? You guys got some wisdom. You dig me? So, yeah, that's one of the things that's another thing that women should pay attention to. The wisdom, man. Like the beard don't lie. Like this ain't great. It's a salt and pepper. Know what I mean? White mean wisdom. Gray mean old. Let's keep it all the way a buck. So if we're gonna be honest, you know what I mean? The brother that was just talking, he found himself a rare breed, and he know he can't meet somebody like her tomorrow or next week. But I need these women to have the same type of attitude. These women need to have the same type of attitude, the same way that men are thinking about. That's why we the ones that fight. So when I put up on Facebook, I said, I wish women stop acting like they're the prize with no proof. You keep acting like you're the prize with no proof. You have no proof that you're the prize, so I don't understand what we're talking about. Stop acting like it's me against you. No, it's not me against you. It's me and you versus the problem. That's what it is. I'm not with all that. I'm not trying to tongue wrestle. I'm not trying to do all that. Sis, I'm not trying to, they misconstrue a lot of things, but listen to the man. I'm not his slave. See the words that they use, man. Words like slave and Oh my gosh, I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like turning to Ike Turner.
Ooh.
I want to be Ike Turner for one day and just smack some sense into him.
We do
Slave
not
and
condone any violence.
no.
on-
I'm just talking. I'm just talking.
He didn't say he was going to do it. He didn't say he was going to do it.
I know, but I had to put a disclaimer out there because you know how YouTube be tripping.
Yeah, just
Even though my page is just
Eat the cake, anime. Eat the cake.
yeah. If you pay attention, like I watch a lot of podcasts to see how it'll be different from my own. I've watched multiple women complaining in the car about how they don't want to do this no more. And these women do not look young. These women look older. So y'all keep talking that dumb stuff about, yeah, I'm not selling, not selling. Guess what you're doing? By the time you get to that 50 age or 48 age, guess what? You're going to end up settling. Because ain't nobody checking for you, sis. Ain't nobody checking for you. Don't nobody want you with all your baggage and all that and all your bad decisions. What makes you think a man want you with all your bad decisions to mess up his situation? His situation is lovely. Lovely. How can you be a good wife if you can't even be a good girlfriend? What? Stop. So when you gonna marry me? Shoot, when you put me in a position to bend down on that knee. What you talking about? Put a man in a position to take you seriously. Then he'll do that. How can we not be the prize when we're the ones who don't ask for much? Wouldn't that make us the prize? You don't think it's a little slightly retarded that the man who don't ask for much, you can't even give him that? Let me give a perfect example. Whether it's the male or the female. If the male or the female say, babe, I got this covered, at least do this. At least. If you get an argument on the at least, drop them. Drop them quick. Game worth a Chinese nickel. Drop them.
Chinese nickel.
Drop them. Because anyone that says, and stay with me, anyone that says, I'll cover this, at least do this. You are clearly talking to somebody that don't ask for much. Am I correct?
Facts.
Right. So if men are more than likely the at least creatures. We're the ones be like, babe, we got this covered, at least do this. And you can't even do that. Brother, by the time you try to mold her to be the woman you want to be, you done wasted a lot of years and a lot of time. And you could have put that time into something else. Let me tell you something about me. That's one thing I don't like. Forget money and all like that, because money can't buy time back. Don't waste my time, man. I don't like him. He hate women. I hate women. I love my mother. My mom don't act like you. So don't ever say I don't like my mom. So if I go get a Puerto Rican girl or a freaking white girl, I didn't mean to do that. I can't help who I like. Now, granted, well, I'm sorry.
But even
that you expect from a woman, because I know you said the at least part, and I know you said that women don't even want to pretty much put in the effort. So for you, what is the ROI, the return on investment that you're looking for? Granted that you're putting in the investment, because in order to get a return on the investment, you got to put in the investment. Like,
that is correct.
You can't just get a return not wanting to invest. So for you, when you put in those investments, what exactly are you looking for in return?
Not much. Simple requirements. So if you need me to name them, I'll name them.
Yeah. Because there are people watching. I open up my panel to any and everybody. As long as you're respectful, you don't come over here with the rah-rah. You're not, you're willing to understand and listen or have a perspective to share. But more men will come on the panel and give their perspectives and things of that nature. But I do believe that there are women watching who need to hear the real from men who are in the field. We have men that are married, we have men who have been divorced, married again, men who are single. Like, we have all types of dynamics on the panel. So when you guys speak, definitely speak from a place of matter of factly, because you want those people who are listening who don't necessarily want to chime in, they don't want to comment, they just want to stay in the dark, in the shadows, that's cool. I have no problem with that. But we do have to speak, matter of factly and realistically, so people who are watching do get it and they do take away gems from these lives. So yes, please be real with it.
I have no other choice but to even be that way.
Mhm.
So let me just say this. The reason why I went on that rant is because I listened to what the brother next to me said, the dark skinned brother and the brother up top. And I was listening to it and I was like, ooh, I can't wait to respond to this. So, but I'm going to respond to you because you said the return investment. The return investment is simple. There's never been 50-50 with men and women. Okay, men are normally we're the ones who put up at least 70 or 80% in a relationship. So I want my ROI to be the 30%, which is simple. Cook, make sure I'm happy, give me peace. She's fun to be with. I can easily talk to her, and she listens to understand, doesn't listen to rebuttal. That's it. And if she's a freak with just me, then I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm straight like 915. She ain't got to worry about me going nowhere.
I'm straight like 915.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
I would never cheat on my woman it's whatever with us. You know what I mean? In the bedroom, kitchen, living room, I don't care where we at. You dig me? Why would I go out and get milk if I got a cow at home? That don't make no sense. What could another girl give me sexually that I'm already not getting at home? So I'm never cheating. So she definitely got my loyalty. But the point that I'm making is very, very simple. And I'm gonna close it out because I'm getting ready to, I'm about to get my swerve on. But I just need, which I don't think is gonna happen, but this generation is getting worse.
Right.
It's getting worse. I knew it was getting bad when I saw different posts where girls were selling like hair weaves, and they would put, I'm selling my hair weave for $75, and they'll put 75 and then the dollar sign. I was like, okay, people are getting dumb. And now, as we get into this generation, I'm hearing the word literally where it doesn't fit. I literally talked to him yesterday. What are you talking about? Just say you talked to him yesterday. That's not what literally means. Oh my gosh, I was literally just there. Oh my gosh, just say you was there. That's not what literally means. If you come to my club, I will roll out the carpet for you. Literally. That's what literally means. That means I'm actually going to do it. But if I talked to you yesterday, I don't have to use the word literally. Do you see where I'm going with this conversation? That's how dumb people are getting. They're not paying attention to men and what we're saying, and men are saying this in mass. Men are saying the same thing in mass. I heard a woman ask a dumb question. She said, how do you know if you're dealing with a man that knows how to lead? Oh my gosh, this girl ain't paying attention. Baby girl, why don't you watch how he handled his own life before he met you? That's how you know if he can lead. What has he accomplished at his age at this time? How many times did he start over? And he accomplished that. I don't care if he's 40, 50, or 55. Where's he at now? But why are you questioning something? How about if you throw that question to you? How do I know that you're able to be a wife? If you still got that slave mentality, I ain't doing this. I ain't his slave. Oh, I ain't his mama. You see the words that they use? And look how they define it. A woman asked a dude, what's femininity to you? Oh my gosh. What you mean? We don't. Please stop saying, well, that's what it means to me. No, femininity has one definition. One. That's it. There is no, well, what's femininity to you? Sis, if you got to ask that question, then you're not feminine. You're just not. The brother posted up, single women keep other women single, and I truly believe that. Or women that are in relationships that they're not happy with, they keep the single women single. Girl, don't do that. Don't go back to him. But meanwhile, she working things out with her dude. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on right now. That's why we're not getting a return back on our investment, because I would never go to somebody who's known for making bad decisions. I would never ask no advice from you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know why women go to other women that's known for making bad decisions. That could be their friend, their mom, their sister, whatever. 3 different baby fathers. Why in the world would a man want to? Why? You make bad decisions. And you're a poor judge of character. Why would a guy want to deal with you? How are you the prize?
Well, I mean, let's do it both ways. You absolutely right. But there's men who make bad decisions.
Oh, I'm gonna give you that too. You know why? Because these guys with these one night stand babies and all like that, you know what I mean? These guys are smashing anything and all like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say the ones that do, not the ones that don't, but the ones that do, they stay. You know, take care of the kid, this, that, and the third, and then they going through all this headache with the girl, with the other kids, and like, oh, how you just gonna feed your son and not make sure that my son cool? Whoa, sis. You don't have to make sure your son is cool. He ain't gotta do that. And before I get off this phone, man, I just want to say, ladies, if you listening, can you please stop posting on Instagram or any social media platform a picture of you pregnant and the father is not in the picture with you? Because now you got all these dummies talking about some congratulations, and all you dummies are saying congratulations for a one night stand baby. And then you want to turn around and have a freaking what's it called? A baby shower. You really want to have a baby shower for a one night stand baby on a drunk night? Come on, girl.
Wow.
Stop doing that. Stop doing
Yo,
that. You look
Lamont
stupid.
just hit something. That's a deep
Just don't
point.
post it. Just don't post
That's
it.
a deep point, Lamont. You just hit something real.
Keep that pregnancy to yourself, Ma. Keep it to yourself. Don't
Man.
post that. But they love the attention because they know they're gonna get congratulations. Women live off that. They live off that. You dig what I'm saying? It's not to put nobody down or nothing like that. It's not intelligent. It's just not. You posting too much stuff. Everybody don't. You can't tell somebody to mind your business and all you do is post. Everybody know your business. If that's how you feel, I can post whatever I want. Cool. Post a picture of you in the hospital with HIV. Hope you get better. I hope you feel better. Post that picture then. You ain't gonna post that because you don't want anybody to know that you got HIV. You understand what I'm saying to you? Everything not for everybody. That's all I'm saying. Love y'all, man.
See ya. Oh, no, he's been trying to get up here for a while. He done dropped the mic and then left. All right. So
that's funny.
Again, with return on investment, you know, men do have to make the investment, right? And so, you know, when men are courting women, when men are vetting women, when men make the decision to be with this woman, what is the mindset of a man going into the investment? Because investments are risky, right? A lot of people, when they have businesses, they make their investments, they're taking a risk. And so what is the mindset of a man who is making the investment?
Go ahead, Stan. You take this one first, man. Go ahead, Stan. Why don't you take this one?
Well, the mindset that we have when we first approach a woman, we plan on taking them seriously. We don't plan on doing nothing otherwise. But by taking them seriously, we mean that we know about the risk. We gamble by spending money, taking them to a restaurant, hoping that they like the restaurant, hoping that they like the food, hoping that they like our company, all that stuff, hoping that they like our outfit when we pick them up for the date or whatever. Like that, those are all risks, but we don't mind doing that when we're going after what we like. We come in with it. You know what I'm saying? We already, if we taking you seriously and we out with you, you under our protection or whatever the case may be, even if this is the first or second date, if you're with me, if somebody is coming to attack us, I got to protect you. I got to make sure you get back home, even though we're not in a relationship yet and we just courting, like you said. I got to make sure you got back home the same way you left.
Mm-hmm.
So we put a lot on the line up front. That's our investment. We invest in our time, we invest in our lives, we invest in our resources, because we even pull certain things out because we kind of want to show you at least what we're working with.
Yeah, I agree, but I want to say this: we have to really put emphasis, because we're using the word "we" loosely. These men on this stage do that. Men with intention do that, and that's who we're talking to. But a lot of men, it's very subjective to what they're looking for, because what are they looking for? That's really the question. What are their intentions? If their intentions are, as he just described, men's intention, you have intention to get to know a person for a future relationship, that's one thing. Not everybody is looking for that. And we need to be a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I mean, that's why I say we initially a person, or this is what I think, that a man goes into this thing with the intention of being who this woman needs in her life. It's not until they show us on their end, wherever their headspace is, that we don't take it seriously. But I don't think I've ever approached a woman that I don't think that I was going to take seriously.
Well, again, that's why I said let's distinctly identify who we're talking to. You are very rare. And
He's not rare. He's not rare. It's not rare.
But
That's
can I
not rare.
just R-Pain, let me add this on real quick. Somebody spoke on this earlier. We're in different times now. Back then, everything I just said, as far as the courting and all that stuff, we knew what that ultimately led up to, or we ultimately knew what we were working up to. We living in an era now where these women are giving it so freely, it'll waste a man's time to court this.
No,
you can court her, but she's gonna sleep with the whole neighborhood. Like, what sense does that make? So we're looking for different things in different women.
So, but what when you just said what you said, though, you were talking about from a standpoint, even in today, of maybe looking at a possibility of something more than just getting banging her out, right? I mean, that's what I thought you were saying.
That's exactly what I'm. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We never go into the. We never step to a woman not with any kind of respect. If we want to just bang her out, you see what I'm saying? Yeah,
I agree. So I'm gonna tell you though. I know you guys don't want to give me that grace. I'm telling you, back when I was courting, that's exactly the same thing. It's not different. Because the only thing we had over you guys is that the good girls were easily identifiable from the bad ones.
Okay.
It was much more easy when it was just that's just what it was.
I give you that.
I wouldn't set up a courtship with a girl who I knew was the block chick.
Right.
Pain. Wait. Hold on. Hey, you just described when you did that. What are you talking about?
Well, no, I didn't say that. When I said that,
you said that your frat brothers, because you fell for the chick
I was in college, and the girl that busted my nose open. I love that chick. Man, what are you talking about?
No, what I'm saying is, you said wasn't that the chick that you just said we wouldn't do that for?
No. Listen, you misinterpret the whole story.
Okay. Well, help me understand.
If she was just a chick I was fooling around, she wouldn't have been able to bust my nose. I was a naive 19-year-old. I fell in love with a street girl.
That's my point. She was a street girl.
No, it's not your point, because your point is I didn't recognize all that. I was naive.
But the point is, just because you didn't recognize it doesn't negate the fact that she was a street girl.
You're trying to get a narrative that you're wrong. I thought she was my girlfriend.
Yeah, and then he didn't approach her like she was a jump off or a street.
That's right.
He actually cared about her and loved her. That's why it hurt so bad. But see, that was the R.O.I. The R.O.I. was that he went in with the intentions of being a decent dude.
Something that I shouldn't have.
Okay. Come to find out, she wasn't cut for that.
But my point being is
you're letting him off the hook. He didn't vet properly.
That's exactly how it is, man. Kenny, you could go ahead and add your little 2 cents.
Okay,
No,
you
no,
didn't
I just,
vet
I
properly
just want two things to
because
say,
I
and then
remember the story. The last before you found your forever, you were sweating a pregnancy report coming back to you.
That's not the same girl, though, man.
Am I
I've
lying
had
on you?
different. Unfortunately, I had more
So
than
wait,
one.
wait.
Like I
So
had more than one
so
of those kind of
so watch
examples.
this.
We ain't talking
That
about this
one
one.
and the girl that you were waiting on shows a track record of you making bad decisions till you were able to find that
Wait,
stable
listen,
woman that you could.
wait a minute, man. I didn't say I
Okay,
was
so
some kind of saint.
wait.
I
Don't.
had a normal sex life like a young man back then.
You said you was Sweet Dick Willie.
No, I didn't say it was Sweet Dick Willie. I'm just saying I had, you know what?
Who cooked chicken gizzards?
You said you was in the juke joint, the mosey wosey. You was out there. You was a young dude
Come
slinging
on, I
that
ain't
thing.
never say no shit like that.
Hey,
Y'all
hey,
not
hey,
gonna do this
hey,
on
gentlemen, can I? I'm
Yo,
sorry.
Pain.
I'm sorry, y'all. I just
It's me. It's me.
I
The
hear you.
reporter.
You're putting some shit in there that you don't know
Then
what
the
you're
last
talking
one you sweat. You was under the sweat waiting for the pregnancy report.
See,
Then you
even with
found your
that, Kenny,
forever. Not
stop.
too
You
long
don't know
after
what
that.
you're talking about.
Then you hung up your
Listen,
cleats on
you're
the
assuming.
telephone
Well,
pole.
hold on. Before you go any further,
Right.
besmirching my name, let me just say this: that you're assuming that the girl I went through that situation with, right, waiting for her to have a period, I didn't like. I liked her too.
He like all of them. He said,
So did you vet properly?
He didn't have the knowledge of a, you know, he was a young guy. So most guys in their early 20s, ain't nobody vetting.
He's assuming that
Wait,
was a
wait,
bad. You're assuming that was a bad girl.
What he did is
that's
what
not,
I
that's not, listen.
no, what he did.
Are you trying to wait a minute before you guys keep telling me my goddamn life? Let me say something, all right? Listen. If you're getting a peek into a guy going through learning how to fucking court with women, you're assuming that the girl who I was worried about whether she missed her period was a bad woman. She wasn't.
Who said that?
She wasn't. She was my girlfriend at the time. If you guys had a whole life where you didn't have a woman call you up and say, you know, I missed, right? And then you sit down here praying that this shit will come, it came. It happened for me. Like a week later, she said, "Oh, you know what? Nothing to worry about. It came."
So watch this, Pain.
You know, if you never
get
had that
emotions
kind of
out the way.
situation, I can dig it. But you're
Okay,
making a whole story out of what you really don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
gentlemen,
so
before I go and y'all can continue the conversation.
Lamont,
I'm sorry.
hold on one second.
Go ahead.
So we go off of what you tell us. People like me are a recorder. That's why I sit
And
back
I
in the
told you
cut
that, and you
I
read
listen
more
to
into
what
it than
you
you should
say.
have.
So if that's your girlfriend and you wasn't willing to make her your wife, there had to be extenuating circumstances why she didn't make the cut. Yes or no?
I think, no, it wasn't extenuating circumstances. She just wasn't
It's
the right
hard
one.
for you to just say yes, right?
No,
or she would have been your wife.
No, it wasn't extenuating circumstances. We just weren't at the point of our lives where we could make a commitment.
So there was extenuating circumstances. That wasn't the one for you at that period in your life. Yes,
and so was she. She was going Y, I was going X. That's not extenuating circumstances. Every relationship I had wasn't meant to go into a marriage. It wasn't. I even with my first
girlfriend. So let me take
out
the big word.
Listen. Every relationship a man or woman has doesn't result in a marriage. I wasn't one of those. You know what? But when I met my wife, that was the last girl I ever fooled around with. But not when we got married, not when we got engaged. When I met her, that was it. That was it.
Well, before we get back into you, Pain, go ahead,
No, but you guys can read. You know, listen. I'm gonna write a novel, and I put all the salacious details in that shit, so you can read it later on.
So I'm actually getting ready to go like right now, but I just remembered something, and that's why I tuned back in. So real quick, and then I'm gonna leave y'all with a question, and I'm gonna stay on to see how y'all gonna answer it pertaining to the topic. The two things I forgot to say before I got off was I wanted to respond to Coach. Is that you, Coach?
Up in the corner.
Okay. Women nowadays, misconstrue you being nice to them as simping. Am I correct? Y'all can give me that, right?
Oh, he said no. What'd you say? Go ahead, coach.
Not in my experience.
No,
Today?
Partly,
no,
yes.
not you.
Yes.
Not.
Yes.
I'm
Not
saying
in my
in this
experience.
era. I'm
Yeah.
only speaking for this era. Yeah. I ain't
I
talking for
thought the
you.
man would say they simping. I mean,
Right. That's what I said. In this era, in this particular era that we live in right now, they would misconstrue a man that would do anything for his woman as simping when not knowing the whole story. They won't know the whole story. Did they ever stop to think that maybe she puts him in a position for him to feel like he could do whatever she wants? Did they ever stop to think about that? Probably not. The other thing I want to say is women will rather change men than change their messed up attitude. That's 100. They rather deal with a whole new guy, start all over with a new guy, instead of changing their own messed up attitude. They got the mentality of, well, he needs to take me for who I am. He needs to love me for who I am. No, that's a messed up way of thinking. What if 5 different guys that you dealt with, they all said the same thing? Are you going to change that? Because I know if 5 different girls say the same thing about me, I'm going to change something. So I'm going to leave y'all with this question, and I'm curious to hear y'all answer. How long do you put up with the BS? And there's a particular reason why I'm asking this question. How long do you stay with her until you realize you are not getting a return on your investment? And the reason why I'm asking that question, because I have many friends that finally called it quits after being together for 12 years, 15 years plus, and they finally got a divorce. They let all them years rock out, wasted all those years, and they finally got divorced after 15 years of marriage or 12 years of marriage, whatever the case may be. How long do you stay with her until you realize that you're not getting a return on your investment?
That's a good question. Thank you, Lamont.
You're
That's a
welcome.
great question.
well, mine is simple. Since the time I was 14, 15 years old,
Yes,
and
sir.
I'll go with 19 really.
Mhm.
I look at it like a credit report. Your credit go bad in 90 days. I know initially, but I always, because I had 6 women in the house. I grew up with 5 sisters, 2 older,
Oh,
3 younger. So I
okay.
knew exactly the questions to ask her to realize whether or not she was just going to be for a couple of hours, a couple of days, a couple of
Mhm.
weeks, a couple of months. And I just based off that and the information I got, and then I
Mhm.
watched how she wanted to hang out with me.
Mhm.
Other than that, I knew I wasn't going to invest. So by within 90 days or so, give it the longest time period, I was moved on. I was like, this ain't gonna work. So
Mhm.
treat me like a business. If I call you today, Thursday, you don't call your job within 48 hours, you a no call, no show. So as simple as
Mhm.
that. So,
Mhm.
and I just kept it moving like that. And I didn't waste no time. And if I saw them, I would be like, hey, what's up? You know, blah, blah, blah. They'd be like, hey, I just keep it and I keep
Yeah.
it moving. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just nod at you like, yeah, you see me over here, but
Mhm.
I didn't invest like that. So
Okay.
Who's next?
Okay, I answer as well. That changed as I matured.
Mm.
When I was younger, a lot more time, a lot more energy. And as I continue to get older, the less time. Me being a single person now, for example, um, I will like Coach just said. If I say if somebody tell me, matter of fact, recently somebody told me I met them, I was like, oh okay, I was interested. They
Mhm.
seemed to have interest. I spoke to them on the phone. I called them. They said, hey, I'm gonna call you right back. I got to do something. Blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
They didn't call me back. I never called them. It was
Right.
a wrap. That so now I really am intentional with paying attention to details that I wasn't paying attention to yesterday or years ago or decades ago. So
Mm.
as I go forward, it changes. So at this point, I trust the person until they give me a reason not to. And when they give me a reason not to, I just move on.
But how long does that take?
It could take a day. It could take an hour. It could take a week. It really depends on how often I engage. You know, if I'm
You said a
engaging,
day? It would take a day, you said?
absolutely. That the conversation that I just told you about was a day. I
Mm.
met her. I,
Mhm.
I called her that day. She said, "Oh, okay, I'm going to call you back."
Mm-hmm.
I took her to, I said, okay. She didn't call back. It was a wrap. So that was within a day.
Yeah, so I know where he's coming from. I mean, when
I
I
let
met
things
my
build up. Me personally, I let things build up. And then once you gave me a clear picture of what type of woman I'm dealing with, then it's
Yeah, likewise, but that was a clear enough picture for me. When I was just last year, it might not have been, but this year, if you say something and you don't live up to it, that's an indication that okay, you're not taking your word seriously. So why should I?
Right. So Lamont, I got one for you. I got
Yes, sir.
one for you.
I know
When
as we get older, our tolerance
can,
level
can,
gets.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, I got one for you. You could go back to Sean. When I met my wife, right? We went out the very first time, and I told her, I said, "Listen, I'm not looking for another girlfriend. I'm looking for something more serious." I think her answer to that was the reason why we're married today.
Do you remember her answer?
Yeah, her answer was, "Yeah, I'm looking for something more as well." And from that day, we stopped. We weren't dating anymore. We were courting. We got engaged 5 months later. We got married maybe around 9 months to a year later. Right? But I met her parents the very first day I picked her up for that date because I had to ring the bell. That's what the difference was back then. It was no blowing the horn and shit. I had to go ring the bell. My father and mother was right there. I had to meet them the very first day.
So what's the question?
No, so what I'm saying to you is that if she would have answered that question wrong on that first date, we probably wouldn't be together. So that's the answer to your question. How long does it take? It took that question because I was serious. I was celibate. I didn't fool around with anybody for like 9 months before.
Let me chime in on that, brother. Let me chime in on that. You said, being in a nutshell, her answer matched yours. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm only saying this because this is actually what's going on. They can say that in the beginning, but not live up to it.
Oh, she lived up to it.
No. That's good. That's great.
Yeah,
So
but I hear you.
The question remains: if she didn't live up to it, how long would you put up with it?
It's hard to answer that because I think if she would, I don't want to give myself too much credit. If she would have told me at that, listen, hear me out. If she would have told me when I asked her that question, if she would have told me I'm not looking for anything that's serious, right? It might have ended right then and there.
That's not what I asked you. What I asked you was hold on, brother.
No, go ahead.
What I asked you was, her answer stays the same, just like you. I want something serious too, etc., etc., etc. But she didn't live up to what she said. She's constantly shown repeatedly that what she told you at dinner on your date
was not true.
So my question is, how long would you put up with that?
Yeah, I hear you. I can't. If I had to give you a truthful answer, I really can't. I think I would hope that the first infraction would have been enough, but I would be disingenuous telling you that.
Yeah.
Because that's not how it happened. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to dodge your question.
No,
I don't think we would have prolonged our relationship if she would have started going against what she said at the table. If I had to chase her down, if we talked almost every day after that. If I had to find her, when I called her, she never called me back. We had the big ass phones back then and shit. If she was like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna be busy this weekend. I'm going," I don't think we would have lasted. I think, but I can't tell you definitively a month or a week. I don't think it would have been long because I was really, really looking for something real. I just wanted a girl that was going to be mine.
Got you.
And that was not. It took me. Let me tell you, I stopped dating girls randomly for almost 9 months before I met her. So my head was clear. I didn't have no casual sex, no casual nothing. So when I met her, I said, "Man, So she hit me real. It hit me differently because I was able to recognize her from the beginning.
Yeah, you gave me a lot more information than I wanted, but I appreciate that.
Sean,
I'm gonna be real quick.
Ain't that the discipline that you was talking about with Brother R.O.I. Payne right there? That's the discipline you talking about, ain't it?
And he learned it after that couple of those scares that he had.
But to answer your question, as soon as they show me that they're not going to reciprocate, they can go. And the
How
only
long is that? Like a couple days, a week, more than a week?
ASAP. 60
ASAP.
seconds. 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
What it sounds like you asked, Lamont, is how long it takes you to trust the person, or to
No,
prove
no.
that they're
The reason
trustworthy?
why I asked that question is because that's why I put something in front of that question. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that, on this panel that knows some friends that's been married for 7+ years and all like that, and they finally called it quits. You know what I mean? I had an argument with my nephew, right? He has this thing where he doesn't argue with his now ex-wife. He has this thing where, no, we just settle our arguments with agree to disagree. And I'm like, what? Agree to disagree? I said, no, man, that's too soft. It's too easy. I said, let me ask you, let me ask you something, nephew. How often can you do that? How often can you do, let's just agree to disagree? Like, he really thought that was a peaceful solution. I said, nephew, let me help you out real quick. That means every time you guys get into an argument, mind you, an argument that matters, okay? Every time you guys say, let's just agree to disagree, that means you guys are going to keep walking away from that argument. I'm walking away thinking I'm right. She's going to walk away from the conversation thinking she's right. So what did you settle?
Yeah.
What did you settle? Nothing.
Well, what it is, Lamar, is that you're speaking to a lot of men on this panel who we already think that way in everything you just described. So that's not even something that crosses our mind. We're like, yo, we're beyond that state of mind that you just described. And so being in something
But now they're
that
divorced now.
long,
And that should have been over. What I'm saying is the relationship should have been over. He did not get a return back on his investment.
Lamont, are you married, brother?
Heck no.
Okay.
Have you ever been married?
Nope.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
want to be married?
Nope.
No.
No married, no kids.
okay. And it's interesting because what you're speaking to, do you believe in love? Do you believe in marriage? Let me ask you that.
Believe in
Yes.
love.
So what you're describing is, you're right. And we speak about it often. The climate and the temperature and the people that are out there just don't have a lot of character or characteristics that afford a wedding or afford a proposal. And that's kind of what we always speak about here on these men panel, and we, why you see us panda or mess with each other, is because us single men go against the married men, because the coach and Payne have been both married for quite a bit of time, and we
Both of them.
salute that. But we also talk to them about what's going on out here, which is what you're speaking to,
Right?
and we're like, yo, it ain't what it used to be.
But
Precious, who's the moderator, she is a precious person because she is actually. I teased her earlier that we were going to find that we came to a consensus and we was going to find her husband, and we were going to vet her for him, and then she just got to pick and choose. But in all seriousness, we wish that we could do that because she is a precious gem to us, and she is the type of woman that we all can agree are rare in this era right now that we're
Okay.
in.
So let me just clear the air. Marriage to me is something sacred, and I'm in it for the long haul. I need her to treat that situation while she's my girlfriend to look at it in the same way that I do. That's what's going to make me get there on that one knee. You dig what I'm saying? But what I'm noticing is, and I actually said this even before that video came out that went viral, the girl who acted like she didn't want to go in the Cheesecake Factory. Tell me something. Look at me. I said this years ago, long before that video. I said these women believe just because they look a certain way, they should be taken out to certain places based on how they look.
Mm-hmm.
Men, we trying to break the ice, baby girl. We're not going to take you to no 4-star restaurant this and the third. We don't know you from a can of paint. I'm not doing nothing like that. These guys who trying to impress the girl and this and the third, let me show her I can take a hit. Man, these guys are soft as cotton on the Q-tip. I
No doubt.
can't talk to these guys, man. I can't do it. These guys are soft.
But
They soft, man.
But in this, okay, I look at it from, we older now, so yes, hindsight is 20/20. But I would say in incidents where men are young, for the most part, they come in understanding the mission that it is about the wife. They want to be.
She's not a wife yet. We're talking about in the very beginning.
Well, see this. Okay, so now that you made that clear, I don't believe in anybody investing that much in a girlfriend or boyfriend. I would never recommend. I have a 21-year-old son. Don't invest all of your time. Don't move in with nobody. Don't rely on nobody to do anything for you. Present yourself who you are. Be that guy that you want to be. So when that person appears to you, it's magic how it happens. Y'all be able to meet eye to eye and build from there. She's not chasing you. You're not chasing her, but you're standing and being a person that you are visioned to be. Be respectful. Stand up straight. I've always been that type of person where, stick.
That's why the father always makes the better parent.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate a lot of our young adults they don't have the balance, and that's where it sort of gets messed up in the wash because you don't get both sides of how to be a man and a woman early on. The older women are telling the younger women, live your best life, blah, 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 do all of this, then circle back, and that old woman they be circling back to the young dude who's on his shit, like, yeah, these young bitches don't got nothing on me. You know what I'm saying? They messing it up, and the guy get caught up in, oh, the woman doesn't want me too early. You can't defy your nature, but just be the best version of you, and eventually it'll happen for you. You can't go all your life chasing women. Fuck that. They'll chase you.
You know the one thing I noticed? What I notice is when the two couples break up, and more than likely the woman's going to break up with the guy ends up finding something better than what he had, and she ends up with somebody who don't got nothing on him, on the guy she broke up with.
And that's her like thereof.
There's a larger percentage of women that's breaking up with good dudes. Wasn't even worth breaking up with. Now she's with a guy who can't even who can't even fill his shoes. And now he end up with a woman who actually appreciates the type of man he is.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Because the guy, if he's on his square, that woman who's supposed to be with him, she's going to reveal herself to him. That's the thing.
I'm not with the whole time wasted thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, God forbid that ever happened to me. Once I'm with a woman and I have everything that I need from her, I'm good. I don't need to meet nobody else. I'm straight.
So who's in control of you wasting your time, her or you?
Oh, me all day.
There you go. And that's all I'm saying. You be in control of that.
But women will question. They be like, "Come on now." They be like, "Come on, Styles. You didn't meet a good woman yet." That was nope.
Well, Styles, I say it this way. You said earlier, I don't even believe in boyfriend and girlfriend because, and that
I said that for a reason.
Huh?
I said it for a reason. Because
well,
that's it starts with that phase.
I said it for a reason. And I said it for a reason. I don't believe in boyfriend and girlfriend because what's the point?
Make your point.
The point is that if you're going to have that title and have the authority, that the responsibility of that title, why not have it be fiance?
No, because there's levels to it.
Okay, and that's the whole thing. You don't have
levels.
The whole thing is
but the point, boyfriend and girlfriend is where the dysfunction begins because there's no commitment there. There's no commitment. And
but the whole thing is,
yes, it is.
If he or she can't be committed in the boyfriend girlfriend phase,
with a big back
then how in the world? how in the world can he or she be a good boyfriend? I mean, sorry, if he or she can't be committed while they're boyfriend and girlfriend
They're
and
not
can't do the
though.
simplest thing that person asks them, how in the world can she
No,
be your
well,
wife?
I can answer that. I can answer that because
Can
this.
you?
I mean, let me. Okay,
Right.
you can
Can't nobody
Stan, you
answer
can say
that.
that too. But let me tell you this, and you guys keep using these day and age. But as an old guy, people throw that shit at me all the time. Boyfriend and girlfriend doesn't mean shit today. There's no commitment there. The girl has a roster and this guy has a roster too. They're lying to each other. There's no commitment. The back door is wide open like a motherfucker, man. Excuse me, precious. All I'm trying to say is,
I ain't even cuss. I should have been
from
cussing.
an observation standpoint, every time I hear on these panels people have a boyfriend and girlfriend, I don't hear anything close to with exclusive. I
Because if
don't
another
hear it.
guy approach him and she kind of like him, she'll say, "I don't see no ring. He ain't give me no
Exactly.
ring yet."
Y'all are lending to my point of why I feel it's irrelevant.
Wait, so are
Because
you guys saying that there's boyfriend and girlfriend, then there's exclusivity, then there's fiance, and then
that's the
there's
game that's the game people play. And that's why I said I don't believe in that game.
I'm saying
That's
if
the
the
game
girl's
people
not
play.
willing to commit to some kind
right.
of exclusive
mean-
relationship going towards marriage, then it's all horseshit.
That's
Especially
the
today.
usual. But let's be honest. Let's be completely honest. That's been the usual step through decades.
Right.
You
Okay.
date, you court,
So
then the
there's no distinction in
guy
the
decides
past.
if he wants her to be his girlfriend or not.
Yeah.
Now, I truly believe,
So
God
they
rest
get
his soul,
engaged. Mhm.
I truly believe in what Kevin Samuel said. Women have access to sex,
No, I
men has
believe
access
that.
to
I
relationships,
believe that.
and I definitely agree with that.
I
But
agree. So do I.
these women are are these women are evil. I'm speaking in general. Because when you were happy, you're happy that Kevin Samuels died. They were happy that Kevin Samuels died, man.
They danced
Yeah,
on his
yeah.
grave. They certainly did.
I understood that.
This is what's out here.
We actually pushed against that theory as far as
These
what
women want men to make six
You
figures.
can't.
Mind you, they don't even look all that. They want God to be 6 foot, make six figures, this, that, third,
So
be able to pamper this.
you're playing into my argument. Then you're saying, then why would a
These
man
women
today
are in no position to be
why would a
asking for
man?
none of
Well,
this.
let
That's
me
what I'm
ask you
trying to
this.
tell
So
you.
let me just say the question: why would a man today even have a girlfriend? Why would a
It's
man today
pointless.
have a girl in his life that's not committed to doing something long term? Because
Yeah.
what you just
Explain
said
that.
is playing into what I'm saying. If a woman is not willing to be your wife, not willing to be part of the vows, to be exclusive to you, why waste your time even having a girlfriend? Why?
Yeah,
Well,
help me understand it.
for one, yeah, I do. For one,
good question.
the man decides. The man decides on whether or not if he's gonna make her his girlfriend. You don't think he paying
No, no,
attention?
no, no, no,
That's
no,
You don't
no,
think he
no. I
paying
said
attention?
wife. I said wife.
Why do you
No,
do
what
that?
man? You know what?
But then if a
Let
man
me just
does
say
that,
As his
why does
wife,
a man take
hold
that
on,
step?
hold on,
as
brother.
his
When you
wife.
said
No, I'm trying to, I'm trying to reel you in, brother. I'm trying to
Let me
reel you in
just
if you
say
give me the
this.
Let's
opportunity.
answer the question.
I'm
Girlfriend,
gonna
men
answer it
don't
right now. I'm
control
gonna answer
these
it right now. I'm trying
bullshit
to reel
things.
you in. I'm trying to
Men
reel you
don't
in.
control these situationships
Let me reel
anymore.
you in
The
first,
only thing men control is if that woman's going to be your wife, because
brother.
you got to
I'm
get
trying
on
to.
the knee and ask her. The
And you still don't
relationship,
control
the
that because she got to
situationship,
answer you.
the women control more of that, and you men just are too ignorant to understand it.
Women control
I'm
what,
saying
brother? They
if
control
you
what?
ain't willing to get on your knee and ask this woman to marry you,
Women
then
don't control the status of what the relationship is.
that you're the only one in the relationship. Let me put it to you that way. You don't know what your chick is doing.
If you're gonna give me the opportunity to
Well,
respond, I will.
well, go ahead. I said it. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Let me start
You
here,
need to come back
and I can
more
finish
often.
it. Let me start here, and I'm gonna finish it there.
Okay.
Because now I really need a drink. So
Hey.
when a guy is courting and dating the woman, stay with me
Yeah.
on this. Stay with me on this.
How much?
When a guy is courting and dating the woman, he's feeling her out. I'm talking about men that pay attention,
Okay.
right? I'm not talking about guys who just want a pretty girl under his arm. I'm talking about a guy who pays attention. As he's dating her and courting her and everything like that, he's paying attention to how she moves and this and the third. If she do the simplest thing like Let me know when you get home. And she does this repeatedly. And then as time goes by, he like, damn, she maintained exactly who she said she was during this courtship. I want her to be my girlfriend. Cool. Now to do the boyfriend and girlfriend thing, right? If she maintains that behavior, I'm gonna say it again because my brother over there nodding his head. If she maintains, listen to the choice of words I'm using, brother. If she maintains that same behavior as she was courting him, I'm sorry, as he was courting her, and she maintained that same behavior, boyfriend and girlfriend relationship normally, on the usual, lasts for about a couple years, maybe 2. Let's just say 2 for the sake of argument. Let's just say 2 for the sake of argument. During those 2 years, she maintained her behavior, couple of arguments here and there, and she also held herself accountable. He felt comfortable enough. Just the one right here. I get most of what I need. And we're back to the investment again. I get most of my investment of what I put into the relationship, and I'm getting most of that back. I'm not getting all of it back, but I'm getting most of it back. And to him, that's worth him getting down on that one knee and proposing. But as they say this, old head, stay with me. Maya Angelou said it best. The late great Maya Angelou said it best. If a person shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
A picture speak 1,000 words. This is all the stuff I learned at 17. 100 round old heads. 100 round old heads at 17. A picture speak 1,000 words.
Okay.
Somebody show you who they are, believe them.
Okay.
The problem is, I'm gonna put you like this, brother. If I come home and I know that my woman, she hates to see dishes in the sink, I get home before she do. I got 2 ways to do the dishes. I'm either gonna do the dishes because I don't feel like arguing with her, or I'm gonna do the dishes because I love her and I want to see her upset. What would be the proper way for you to do these dishes? What would be the proper way for you to do these dishes?
Well, you're gonna do the dishes.
What's the proper way for you to do these dishes?
Let's not miss words. You're gonna do the dishes. I don't care how you do it. You're gonna do it.
Thank you. I'm gonna do the dishes because I love her. But if I do the dishes because I don't feel like arguing with her, then I'm doing it for the wrong reasons, and that shows you where my mentality is.
No, I hear you.
You understand what I'm saying to you? That's why I said I gotta reel you in.
Well, let me reel you in.
If she got the same type of attitude,
I hear you talking.
the same type of attitude that I got.
Let me reel you in now.
If she got the same type of attitude that I have, then guess what? I made a good investment.
You got it, coach.
You understand what I'm saying to you? Precious, you understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I hear what
If she got the same mentality, the way I think, let me do this for him because it's gonna make him upset, and I don't want to see him upset because I love him. As long as she's not doing stuff, as long as she's not doing the laundry, because she don't feel like arguing with me, but she's gonna do the laundry because she don't want to see me upset. As long as me and her on that same thought pattern, this shit gonna work out.
Yeah, that's called consideration.
Okay, but hold on, coach. Coach, before you jump in, just real quick. That's what I was thinking, Lamont, when you said that earlier. The woman that looks at service to you as slavery, that's not the woman that you want, because the woman the woman that deserves to be in that position, she does that because she wants to do that with every molecule of her being.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
What you guys just said, I agree with.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been married for a long time, and I'll let you go ahead, Coach. My wife.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got people hitting my phone up.
Yo,
I'm
well,
ready to
man,
go.
You gotta stay, Sal. You gotta stay, Sal. We want to address you. I want to address you.
Right. You need it.
It's a pleasure meeting y'all. I'm gonna see y'all in the next conversation, man. It was a pleasure meeting y'all.
All right, brother.
All right, y'all.
Maybe I missed telling you this, guys. The reason why my wife is so dope because she does. I'm gonna let Coach.
No, he can go.
I'm gonna be real quick. One reason why my wife is dope is because all the shit that she does for me is because she wants to. Because she absolutely wants to. There's no gripes. It's like, oh, shit's just a burden. So go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
No, man. I mean, listen.
That's really the R.O.I. A woman who wants to do it.
Yeah, man. Everything she wants to.
Everything our pain is saying is 1,000% the way. When people come together in marriage, that mission is already accomplished prior to the marriage. I've always understood this when it came to women. I'm not going by what you say. It's like your credit report. I'm only going about 10% of what you say. I'm going by how you move towards me. That is it. You could be talking to 10 dudes on the phone, but if I want 5 hours, you're going to have to give me the 5. So somebody go miss out. If I say come over on Tuesday, I expect to see you Tuesday. I ain't waiting to Friday. I ain't waiting around. I ain't doing none of that. You're going to come and I'll meet you halfway. I'll make sure your path is lit. You got all the safety precautions. You know what I'm saying? That's me. But I'm not going to even entertain the fact that you want to waste my time. I never move like that. So it's hard for me to understand in a sense. But at the same time, guys understand what they up against. They see it. They saw it from a distance how she was. They saw, okay, a woman that's looking this bad. I always assume if you got the body and you got the face, 10 other dudes like you. 10 other dudes like you. And now when I bring my little slow game over, hey, how you doing? Da, 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 da. If you look at me as one of your soldiers in that, then you're gonna use me accordingly. It was up to me to see that from you. I wasn't seeing how you move and you moving reckless outside of my values. And then I'm like, well, I still want to be with you and I'll go through that. Man, I don't self-inflict my wounds when it comes to a woman. Never have. My wife understands that. We had these conversations because I bring these conversations to her. She's like, yeah, people are getting crazy because she understands her mission, how she's going to fight for us. We in this together. We never defined if we were boyfriend and girlfriend in our relationship. When I said show up, she showed up. When I went over and hey, I'm gonna bring my little bag, my little bag over, and we're gonna have a good time. Even today, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain it, but a relationship, as far as a man, you coming in and then you taking care of your business. Well, I don't care what job you work. You can work a mechanic and you represent yourself in a righteous way. You treat people with respect. You should demand that from anybody coming to your space, man or woman. And if a woman does not align with that, why waste months and months and months? She can say whatever. How does she show up for you? That's the thing. Does she want you to be in her intimate spaces? Does she want you to be, to see these people that are important to her? And if her friends are important to her, and you see that and that's not a part of your alignment, and you continue to try to get with her and pull her away from it, then you're doing yourself a disservice. That's how I've always looked at it. Everybody's different, but I ain't never had to cry about a woman that didn't want me and eventually broke up. Listen, get over her. Hope you can find somebody, because I know I'm going to find somebody. I ain't never hesitate like if a woman go like me. No, I'm going to find somebody. Matter of fact, I might find too many of y'all, and some of y'all just going to be some plaything. That's when I was younger, though. But I believe every man controls his own destiny when it came to women. And if you don't, why not hesitate to go say, hey, brother I pain, man, what does it take, man, to get some women? What I need to do? Because I wasn't taught when I was young, but I'm 28 now, and I still have these problems. I pain, hey, Trey Ferg, man, look, man, and me, I'm a man. I was taught how to be like by my daddy. Get in shape. You ain't got to have the prettiest face, but if you got some muscles, you are halfway there. Save your money. Don't go buying all the latest everything come out. You can wait a couple of models to pass. Clean your house. Make it smell good. When they come over, they smell good. They like it when it smell good. They be ready to, take the shoes off and, just, I don't know, man. I ain't have to work too hard, but I understood I had to put in work.
Some of these dudes, you got to tell them to have their own house too. You know what I'm saying? Before they have it smelling good, they got to have the house.
Well, apartment maybe, not a house.
That's it.
Whatever,
apartment.
Whatever, the domicile.
I wanted Styles to come on.
With parents and stuff.
Yeah, I wanted Styles to stay on so I could address the whole boyfriend girlfriend, because y'all kind of touched on it, and I agree with y'all. It's a wasted step.
Okay.
Yes, it is, and I'll tell you why.
Because I don't think it is. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because he said courting and dating. What's the difference? You can court and date and get to know somebody and learn all of those things that you need to learn, and the title that you are claiming for boyfriend and girlfriend, you can date exclusively. You can court exclusively. You can do a lot of things exclusively and come to the same conclusions. The difference is, and the reason why I came up with this was when my daughter said she has a boyfriend. And I said, okay, what does that mean to you? And she was like, well, so basically she was saying, I'm giving him all of the authority without having him take any responsibility. And I was like, yo, what sense does that make? And this is what I asked. I said, why are you giving him all that authority with the title that comes with that title, boyfriend? Because all you're doing is giving them authority with the title. So, and girlfriend, you're giving them authority. You're giving them access. You're giving them a lot of things. You think you're giving them exclusivity, but a lot of times you're not. You learn that through courting. You learn that through dating. You learn that through time. I agree. But the point is, you're giving them a title that gives them a lot of authority with people who don't always live up to the responsibility for that authority, because that authority that you get is the same authority you get when you're a fiance. And which one sounds better is what I asked my daughter, a boyfriend or a fiance? Because you're giving them the same thing. So go ahead, you tell me.
Well, it's a comment. Wait, Ken, you got something to say there? Because I know you just popped on.
Yeah, he popped
let me.
I'll address it after they say something.
I'm listen. Y'all stuck on your heels as for how you'll see things. Pain, no matter how much pushback I give you, you've been a success under matrimony, even though you're archaic. But you still have a resume. Yeah, even though your time is different than the present time, and it lacked the complexity that it does now in the non-traditionalism. That's to be respected. Sean, he tiptoes over the fence left and right, but his points are tangible. You understand? And Coach, I think he got smooth sailing with the relationship that he has, as for, teaching someone, if they look at the case model as for how he lives it, not too much complexity, trade-offs and compromises. He loves his woman loves him. But I think when we're doing this pot, we need to get it back to the basics. When we're teaching young people without too much reading, we could abridge it, get back to the common fundamentals as for learning chivalry, learning how to court, learning how to respect a woman. We got too much things that show young people all the negatives and how to mistreat women and think that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I asked a young dude the other day, when's the last time you slow danced? What's that, OG?
Wow.
I was like, wow.
They don't know what that is, man.
Wow. Because you know what? The rap guys say they don't make love songs no more because they don't think the women are worth it. It was NBA Youngboy who actually said that on his platform.
And he's a failed person in relationships, so I wouldn't listen to him.
No, forget about listening to him. What I'm saying is he still has a reach out there, whether it's good information or bad. The problem is with the guys who have reach, even if it's bad information, if you got 1 million followers, you're putting out pervasive. But the truth of the matter is nobody's making those love songs anymore. Back in my day, we used to simp for the women all the time. Oh, baby, baby, baby. We was baby, baby, baby all the time. Oh, you know what? I was a Parliament Funkadelic. They had a song where the chick went out and stroked everybody. He says, listen, if you come back, I'm happy. I'll stay. And my man Eddie Hazel put a guitar lick on that shit's forever. So all I'm just trying to say, listen, you know what, Kenny, I heard what you said. The only problem I have with people telling me that I'm too old to understand shit. I believe that you're too young to understand that. I believe the nature of a woman hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is the tools that they use and abuse. I can't tell you how to date, but I can tell you how to be married.
You said you don't believe
I might not be able to tell you how to date, but I could tell you how to be successfully married.
Pain. You said you don't
That-
believe the nature of the woman changed?
No,
Okay,
just like the
so
nature of man. I think
Anybody
what
else
I'm
agree with that?
saying is they're influenced by the times, they're influenced by feminism. But if a man can understand underneath that a woman is a woman is a woman, and the reason why I know,
If a
I'm
woman
not.
can understand it,
no,
Well,
wait,
we're talking
Sean,
about men.
no,
We're talking about
let
men.
him tell us
Let me
why
let me
he
just
knows.
let me just tell you why I know. Okay, because a lot of people kind of underestimate the fact that I've been married to a woman for 37 years. And let me tell you, there was not one day that she stopped being a woman.
Okay.
There's not one goddamn day in our whole marriage that she stopped being a woman. I had to constantly respect that all the way through. And you know, the influences out there, it doesn't mean she's immune to all that stuff. You know, she has those same kind of proclivities and propensities that all kinds of women have. So I had to, women are naturally chaotic. So is my wife. So I had to be the order to her chaos. You know, so I just tell people, listen, okay, I'm a dinosaur. Okay, I can't tell you how to date these modern women. I can tell you what to avoid. But if you want to be married, I can tell you how to be married. You know, and let me just leave it at that. And you know, I love my wife, man, but she's, let's not underestimate. She ain't my punching bag. She's not. You know, and so
Who said
but
that?
let me just leave it there. Go ahead.
But also, our pain, your wife, she's a good wife to you, but that don't necessarily mean she'll be a good wife to somebody else.
Well, listen, I would agree with that because every man has to shape the woman for himself.
Exactly. That's the thing.
I
Like
agree.
a lot of us are thinking that these people who are who found happiness and found success in their relationships, marriages, whatever the case may be, that they found a unicorn. That's not necessarily true.
No,
You know what I'm saying? The
with-
people don't change. The times have changed. It's just that we, as a mass of people, have allowed certain things to go on because,
especially men. When you mean
yeah,
men, when you
because
say massive people, you mean men.
right. I
Right.
mean, both men and women, because if the elders dropped the ball and allowed a lot of this stuff to come through, I'm just gonna put it to you like this.
Okay, I agree with that.
I'm 46 years old, and my youngest children, which I'm in their lives, I'm not in the lives of my oldest children. I wasn't in their lives. That's from a previous marriage.
Okay.
But I'm in my younger children's life, which means I get to mold and shape them to be a decent man and a decent woman, right? But think about the time frame that's going past for me to correct that situation. Meaning that these children, they're only going to be good for somebody for 40 years, 30 years from now. You see what I'm saying? Because they're 10 and 12. What I'm
Okay.
saying is somewhere along the lines in these generations, the ball have been dropped. This information hasn't been passed along, and we've been allowing for the people to be out of order, men and women. We got men
You'll get a
walking
lot
around
of heat
sagging their
for
pants. That
if you
ain't
say it
marriage
out
material.
loud.
Sorry about that.
No, that ain't. No, you good. I'm saying, but it's a lot of men that ain't marriage material. It's a lot of women that's not marriage material, and it comes from a lot of the systemic stuff that's been put into place too.
Man, all this stems from crack era. All
Right.
of it. We was rolling along at 50% of marriage. We was high in the marriage. People were doing, for the most part, young people were working hard. Young people were getting married, building together. Crack came. It took the mothers out the house. A lot of dudes sold drugs to mothers and sisters. A lot of young brothers. A lot of kings in the neighbor. A lot of young G's in the neighborhood that was protectors. They no longer here. Or they spent 20, 30 years in prison. And those kids of that time are now in their 40s to 30s. And that's all they've been doing is fighting.
Yeah, but my
everybody.
point to that was that's why there's not a lot of people out here. Like it's not a lot of decent people out here. They're not unicorns. It's just they hard to find.
But Stanley, here's the thing I want to ask you,
don't agree
because
with that.
you're in a unique situation, right? You have that opportunity to understand the life that you had as a young man to change the lives of your younger children. Why don't most people, and male and female, take that same sentiment to say, you know what? I know it was broken somewhere, but why can't I do better for the future of my own legacy? People are still accepting the bullshit for It's like, fuck the kids. That's what I'm sorry. It's like, forget the kids, because ain't no good people out here. Then I'm a man go tell young man, ain't no good women out here. I'm a woman tell young man, ain't no good man out here. So now they getting a message like, you know what? Don't trust nobody. Just do whatever, be on my own, don't build, don't do nothing. Why can't people come to that age of understanding, that 40-year-old dynamic individual, say, let me invest in those that don't know this information? Because social media, like you said, we in real time in California and Florida, everybody's getting. Why don't most people take that sentiment and say, at least the people that I can affect, let me help them? Everybody else is just saying, F them kids. I don't care what goes on, because that's the way I feel about it. I don't give a damn how you feel.
We can affect change, but you got to look at change as it's going to be incremental now, right? I mean, it's not just a crack era, and I understand where Trey Ferg is coming from. The point really is there's a lot of history that put us to where we are today, and there's a lot of blame to go around. But the basic thing is that Black folks in America, Black Americans, we've been under analysis for a long time, and the puppet masters have seeded different things in our history to make us behave the way we're behaving. So when you bring us to today, if you're looking backwards to say the reason why shit's fucked up, I'm sorry, messed up because of the baby boomers or the older Gen X's, you're still missing the opportunity to say, well, if you have the knowledge, you could change things for your family. Right. And I think we missed that by worrying about the past. We still got people talking about slavery. You know, we got CEOs and successful Black people everywhere, and we're still talking about slavery. You know, so what I'm saying is that you like Trey Ferg said before, we need to look for how can we
Stop
save
running from the
for the
conversation.
future.
You know what you do? You say certain things and you realize something's coming, and then you move the narrative before it hits you.
No, I don't know what you're talking about,
but she's about to play a video. She's been tuning us up. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead. We'll get back to you, Kenny, so you can say what you're going to say, brother.
I do agree with our pain, though. I had a leadership meeting yesterday, and we read this book, and one of the lines in the book was it's called The Energy Bus, if anybody wants to read it, or if you've already read it.
Say that again? The energy what?
The Energy Bus.
Okay.
It's just a book on leadership, positive energy, and things of that nature. But one of the lines in the book was, we can't worry about the past, we have to worry about the path. And so that's kind of like what our pain is saying. You know, we keep talking about the past and things of that nature. And although, you know, we do need bits of the past in order to be better, but we do need to focus on the path. And I think that's what Stan is doing. You know, he can't necessarily worry about the past. He already knows the mistakes that have been made, or, you know, the insufficiencies, whatever are there, but he can worry about the path that, you know, his 11-year-old, 12 or 13-year-old are going to be going or going to be traveling. And so that's what he's worrying about. But I just wanted to play this video because it kind of speaks to what we're talking about now. And what this guy says.
Something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud.
That men, their whole life was taught how to treat a woman and not what to expect from a woman. But women were taught their whole life what to expect from a man, but not how to treat a man.
Now, would you guys agree that women are not necessarily taught how to treat a man?
Agree.
100%.
But
that's almost like a fact, an undeniable.
That's undeniable fact.
Yeah.
So the women in your lives, right? Were any of them taught how to treat a man? Have you ever seen, like, I know in my personal life, my mom and dad are married. So it didn't necessarily come from do this, don't do this, don't do this, do this. It came from me literally seeing everything that she did for my dad, and for the family. You know, she ironed his clothes. Sometimes I ironed his clothes when she was too tired or when she had to work. She cooked, you know, she prayed for him. She was just his support. But the women in your lives, how can you say that they were taught how to treat a man?
Well, the difference from what you're describing is that you observed how to treat a man and you picked up on it, but were you taught it? What did somebody sit you down and say, hey, Precious, this is what you need to do. These are the things you need to practice. And that's part of what I'm referring to when I speak about taught. We all can observe things and pick up on it and learn from those scenarios, similar to how you just described path from past.
Mm-hmm.
Path is when you can go through those examples. For example, you're going by somebody else's example, but past is actually putting together a curriculum, for lack of better words, to teach what you're going to need to know going forward. And, you know, so we have a lot of theories that come up, or a lot of concepts that are convenient for the moment or the person.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them are wrong. Like some people say, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. Same scenario. So we can't sit and downplay one to uplift the other when they both can be valuable.
Mm-hmm. So you asked me a question. Did she like sit down and teach me?
Yes.
I think my mom has a problem with sitting down. So, because she's always up doing something, meaning, you know, she's taking care of the family, she's taking care of the house, she's taking care of my dad. I would say as I got older, it was more of teaching of the realistic things and being more real with me. And when I was younger, it was including me in that actual care for my father. So like I said, if she couldn't iron his clothes, I was ironing his clothes. If she couldn't prep or bring him up a tray or, you know, things of that nature, I was doing those things. So like I said, as I got older, it was more so, you know, stories and things that she told me, and you know, my mom's a praying woman, you know, prayer, and just watching how she not only covered him but covered me and my brother as we went to school, things of that nature. So it wasn't necessarily the specifics, it was the reality of the home that I grew up in and what to look out for and what to you know, kind of be ready for. And so what my mom taught me how to be ready for, not a lot of men, you know, necessarily carry the characteristics of my father. So if that's not the case, I'm not necessarily even looking your way, or you know what I mean? Because I wasn't taught how to deal with you. I was taught how to deal with you, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, there definitely was teachings and examples. And I appreciate my mom, and she's still teaching, you know. It's not something that is just a turn off thing because I got to a certain age. It's something that she's still doing.
You know what, Precious? What you're saying is the reality of the balance that you get when you come from both parents being in the house.
Yeah.
They taught you, and this is what, you know. Listen, I was always understood that you learn by observation and hands-on experience.
Mm-hmm.
Some things you can talk to, some things you have to show hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
And in our community, you can look at a lot. You can look at our history. A lot of us didn't get the balance of that. A father ain't gonna be giving you, unless if it ain't got nothing to do with really sports or putting something together, he ain't gonna be out there showing you how to do a cartwheel and backwards flips and teach you how to wash dishes and do your clothes, your laundry. That's where your mom come in. Your father's gonna teach you how to have some courage about yourself, some stoicism, as the new word they like to use, you know, throw around. He gonna teach you how to control your emotions. He gonna make sure you stand up to the bully, that dude that try to run you home. He gonna make sure that It's just certain balances that they bring to you. My father was big on education. My mother, she was cool. My father, don't get a call home from school. Let me see a report card. And he dealt with me accordingly based off the grades. But he wasn't pressing me to, you better make all A's. He like, no, I don't want to see no damn D's because you ain't no dummy and you ain't no fool. Okay, cool. So I was cool with the C's in the classes that I really wasn't motivated in. The classes where the girl I like, rubbing on my leg and showing me her areolas in class. I couldn't concentrate. This is middle school. Really. I mean, but he bought that balance because he made sure that I was, he was another big thing for him. I better respect adults. People that knew him when he was a kid, I better respect them. Now, people my age, I don't give a damn about people. If you 5 years younger than me, listen, it's hard for me to really listen to you. You got to get to my age. It's hard. I can be sentimental, empathetic with your situation, but you got to get there first. So wait till you get there, then we can talk for real. But, what I'm saying, just growing up in that time, it was just a different mindset. Guys and girls didn't really hang out together unless we was going to party or get together. Everybody had their lane. Now everybody's mixed up. You see young guys hanging out with girls, and no, I ain't hanging out. I ain't got no female friends. I ain't got no, if I got a woman, that's the only friend I need. If we friends, that means we see each other, we speak, we might parlay in that capacity, but arranging dates and all of that and doing all that, I was just different. I didn't hang out with guys that wanted to be on the dumb shit. I had to get home because my mama was cooking. She showed me how to listen. You make sure you get a woman that can cook. Make sure you get a woman that can clean her own house. And now I ain't saying that's what I want because I understand that I have a role too. Like I said, my wife don't lift a finger outside. She can't cut the grass. She can't rake the leaves. She can't do none of that.
Yeah,
but when it comes to the inside, she understands her role. She gonna cook.
Not to cut you off though.
Yeah.
Trey, you know why your mama said find you a woman that can cook?
Why is that?
Because what a woman cooks and feeds you determines on how long you'll live or die.
And that's true. But see, that's the balance that she bought me. You know what I'm saying? She taught me how to be. She the one told me the game about women. So when a woman didn't align with what I was moving like, I didn't waste time. You didn't get no 2 or 3 years out of me. If I knew if I saw anything shady, I would let you know and I would just dismiss you. I'm going to delete your number out of my phone. I ain't going to try to have a conversation with you because I had the conversation up front. Don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me. And I'll explain it to you 10 ways how you can disrespect me. Other than that, and that's how I teach my son, like, man, you stay on your square. He's 21 years old. He's making like $42,000 a year. He like, I don't know if I want to get married, but in the meantime, son, these are things you must acquire. So if you have to live on your own, you can fix shit around your house. You can take care of yourself. You don't have to want somebody to want to do something. But at the same time, I think a lot of today, it's just a lot of people have grown up fighting. Now everybody's looking to each other and they don't know how to communicate because a lot of shit could just be talked out, but nobody's willing to negotiate and make a deal. So it's gonna be a rough one for a long time. And I would hate to see a 25-year-old go to 55, 60 years old, ain't really been in a committed relationship, never had the experience of someone really caring about them and loving them and vice versa. Because they still gonna be out here clapping cheeks. They still gonna be making babies, and the babies just gonna be dumb as hell because this is where we are.
Hey man, does your son still live with you?
Nah, man, he's on his own, man.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's on his own, man. I've always expressed that, like my mama expressed to me. But he has he got our support a whole heart. But he like, man, I can do this. I can take what I know. He's doing it.
Coach, I had a question for you from earlier, something that you commented on. You made mention about how when you were younger and certain, ways that you were reacting. Did the military have anything to do with shaping that? Because it gave
the military made it sort of worse as I got older.
No, that's what I'm referring to as far as you having the out of, like, for example, when you're in the military, you have the out of, now I can't be here long enough. You can't devote time to a relationship and you have an out of why you can't.
No, that's what I'm saying. I developed that early.
Okay.
14, 15 years old. I had that. I think the military made it worse because if you said something wrong, if I thought that you was hugging the dude inappropriately, I would address it. And if you felt, oh, well, there ain't nothing wrong, it's just my friend. No, I would move on. You wouldn't even be that important to me. Because I feel like if you want to talk to me, then your focus is on me so you can understand me. If not, I just wasn't attached to people like that as I got to, after the military, believe me, I ain't had no problem. Me and Tiger Woods was competing against each other. And I ain't had no bank like Tiger.
Yeah, what I was asking is specifically of not like when you said you didn't have to really commit to a relationship because or you didn't have to take it seriously. Was that helpful in not having to take a relationship seriously?
I took anytime I approached a person, I took it seriously.
Okay.
But then it depended on how she took to me.
Okay.
See, everybody don't like light skin, big nose, even though I might like them burnt black, blue, all the way to high yellow, mellow yellow. But everything in between might not like me. So I wasn't going to force it. The fact that, oh, she's bad, she's got this. Oh, you don't like the light skins? Okay, I'll keep it moving. I just tuck my tail and go move over here. Throw my little fishing line over here. I was going after a little guppy when I realized that was a little guppy. But then I get over here, it's a big old tube. Like, yeah, I want that.
Light skinned guys play victim. Yeah, let's get out of here, man.
No, I'm just saying, hey man, listen. No, I'm just saying I can accept the fact that I'm not attracted to everybody. I know this about myself. I'm ugly. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm so fine to some, and it just works out. To my wife, I'm the king. So to me, she's the king, she's the queen. So ain't nobody out here better than her. Ain't no way.
Oh, that's funny.
Is she watching right now? Was that where that came from? No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh my goodness.
She upstairs sleep, man.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
She gets put to bed early around here, man. She good.
Go ahead, talk your stuff. Go ahead.
He get on the live, okay? You do what you gotta do.
She good.
Andy, you'll be. I ain't mad at you.
He said, "Look,
everybody, all us young, all us fellas,
I got a show to be on. Let's go."
Yeah. All us who are trying to get to their status in marriage, take notes. I'm taking mine right now.
You can get there. You can get there. You just got to be focused on it and have conversations, man. Have conversations prior to you committing to that, and watch how she move towards you.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say about the boyfriend girlfriend thing. Because in my honest opinion, I don't think a fiance ain't nothing but a glorified girlfriend.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? That time you're supposed to use that time to see if this person is giving you the ROI that you're looking for before you even take it. Because marriage don't really change nothing. It's just a piece of paper. Y'all supposed to have them. Y'all supposed to have that commitment and all that etched in the beginning.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing, just arguing over semantics, which I hate doing. So I got to catch up. Yeah, it's semantics. It's boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, liar, cheater. None of that really matters.
Both of you guys, right? Let me say this.
Go ahead.
I hear you in theory. But if a woman's your fiance, you still had to ask her a question.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't.
If a woman's your girlfriend, you still had to ask her a question.
Hold on, man, Sean. Before you say anything, the question of asking a woman to be your wife is a whole lot different than asking a honey to be your girlfriend. I mean, we can't belittle that. I mean, we might want to. You might want to, and you could come up. I'm not going to argue with you if you want to go ahead and rationalize that thing. But when you ask a woman to be your wife, it's a whole different level.
The difference is the reason why I agree with you, but here's what it boils down to. It depends on what you value. Just because you ask somebody to marry you, don't mean you're gonna value that.
No. See, but you could add all the salt and pepper you want to it. I can't argue with what you're just saying. I'm talking about people who are serious, right? Well, maybe it's because I'm married. I really made a distinction between having, like, I told my girl, I don't want another girlfriend. I want a woman I could make my wife. So the point really is that asking a woman to marry you should be sacred to men. It should be
is.
sacred to men. I mean, listen, I mean, you can argue all you want with me and trying to belittle that shit.
It's
When
not.
you
It's not
ask
an
a
argument
woman
or
to marry
belittling.
you, it should be sacred to you. So
Well,
that means that you have to have a certain amount of ducks in a row before
Right.
you pop that particular question.
All right.
okay.
So hold on, Sean. Hold on. Let me clarify what I was saying real quick. What I was saying was you initially take her seriously and you say, hey, now we're boyfriend and girlfriend. From that time of boyfriend and girlfriend up until the time of fiance, when I say, hey, will you be my wife? Then they, yes, or whatever the case may be. Now we're fiance, right? It's
Yeah.
still a time period, just like in the boyfriend and girlfriend stage, that if she changes, if she changes, or I don't get no ROI in between the fiance and the wife's to the actual ceremony to making her my wife, then I've had to say, because I had several fiancés, only 2 wives. But I had to tell them, time out. You just a glorified girlfriend. Stay in your place. You're not the wife yet. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
hear
that's
what
what
you're
I meant
saying,
by that.
brother.
That's what I
You
meant
know
by
what?
that. It's
I hear
levels
what
to
you're
it.
saying. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not arguing with you because the way we deal with things, it depends on where our heads are at, right? And
Right.
so it's no right or wrong answer to this because you're right. A woman and a man could blow it in the fiance stage.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah.
I grant you that. I'm just saying to me, and to everybody else, I make a big distinction between whether because it's funny because when it was a point. Well, listen, when my wife, when very first thing when I asked her, I didn't want another girlfriend. I didn't propose to her that day. I didn't. I just let her know. I said, if we're gonna be together, we got to work towards something more meaningful. So it wasn't a proposal. She wasn't my fiance on that first date. And so, I mean, we're fooling around. We're going out. She had a curfew, by the way, so I had to bring her home at a certain time. And so I said, listen, because I'm gonna be honest. I said to her, so okay, so you're gonna be my girl, right? Because I never asked her that. She said, well, shit, I thought I already was because I had said all that other stuff before, right? And so, yeah, so she said, I thought I was already your girlfriend. I said, yeah, you are, blah, blah, blah. And then somewhere in that 5-month period, I actually made the real request, right? We were at Chi-Chi's. They don't even have that restaurant no more.
Goodness, Chi-Chi's.
Chi-Chi's, yeah, we had Chi-Chi's. And I proposed to her at Chi-Chi. She was like ecstatic. I gave her a little cheap-ass ring. It was cheap as hell. I could tell you that was no $10,000 ring or none of that shit. And then, I proposed to her, but the day before I had talked to her father, and I had said, listen, I'm going to propose to your daughter. I want to marry her and all that kind of stuff. He gave me his permission and all that. That shit's all non-existent pretty much today, which I'm
I did
sad
that
about.
too. Yeah, I did
Huh?
that. I said I
There you
did that
go.
with my wife. Yeah.
There you go.
I agree. I agree. Like I said, to me, we're really going on our preference on how to look at it, but we're saying the same thing, which is be serious and intentional about your relationships when you want a relationship to last. And that's really what it boils down to. I can't say that yours is more valuable than his or his is more valuable than mine. The point is that if we're all serious, they're all valuable.
This is true. I'm gonna play this last video, then we're gonna get out of here. But it's pretty much this man is just in awe of his girlfriend. She's on there. However, I believe this is how a lot of women start. Some may not even start like this because she rolled out the red carpet for him. And it may seem small, but to him, it's a lot. And I think to a lot of men, it would be a lot because it's things that he didn't have to worry about. He didn't have to think about. It was already done for him. But it just reminded me of a level of ROI that a man would want from a woman that a lot of women in today's world like Styles was saying, would feel like it's slave work, or don't have the heart posture to actually serve a man. So I just wanted to play this as we exit and get you guys' reaction to this. Maybe it's happened to you, maybe it hasn't. But I wanted to end on a good note here.
Friend visiting me for some time, and
I'm not going home.
Okay, I love that. But nah, yo, like I come home from work, you know what I'm saying? And look, she had made dinner. You know what I'm saying? Look, folded my clothes that was on the couch. Got them ready and folded them. Mind you, heavy on the folded. Got my towel ready, I think. Yes, got my towel ready, y'all. How do I go from living normal to... You might know the wedding venues, preferably by the water. Cause I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. Oh wait, gotta pray. She be on my head about that. Let's see what baby done did, y'all. See what she done did.
Baby, this your 1/3 work tomorrow. Wait.
I'm gonna go back to normal. Oh, it was a 10 out of 10. I didn't even...
So something that simple. Folded his clothes, made him some food. I don't know. That could have came from Bahama Breeze. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, you could have showed that money a little bit.
Cooked for him. I think made his lunch for the next day for work. Simple things like that. I think take a lot.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You said this word that you got to take out. You said simple. It's not that simple. It's not that common. It's that simple to you. It's not that common. Everything you just
common and simple are different. Yeah,
that's right.
Simple and common is not common. It's not common, but it is simple. It's simple to put a towel.
From your standpoint of the act of it is simple.
It shows paying attention.
I agree. The act of it is simple, but the consideration of it to us, it is,
like those things are not things that a man should have to tell a woman to do. I don't think those are things. She know he's coming home from work, a towel and a washcloth. I mean, geez, you getting yourself one. You have one for yourself, right? So why wouldn't you get him one? Why wouldn't you get him a towel and a washcloth to wash and dry off with? You're cooking, so why wouldn't you prepare his plate? Why wouldn't you do those things? You made food, so why wouldn't you put extra away in a container for him to take to work? To me, those things are simple.
I agree wholeheartedly. Let me say this. My ex, that's what reeled me in. That's why I have so much compassion still and grace still when it comes to her, because that is what was given. The first time I went and saw her before we even started dating anything, she did all of that, to the point that she thought that I didn't want it or like it because I just it was so unfamiliar to me. I was like taken aback, almost apprehensive, like, yo, what's going on? What's getting ready to come out? Who getting ready to come out? I wasn't, that's why I say, yes, it is simple. I agree. But for someone, and maybe it was just me who wasn't getting it at the time in a long time.
Yeah, not common. Yeah.
It's not common, but it is simple. And with men, it's the simple thing that actually holds the staying power, because that means that you're really paying attention to us.
Agreed. And I haven't seen all of us in sync and in agreement in a long time. But we all like, yep.
Yes, I think it's very simple. We're gonna end with closing words, or final thoughts, closing words. We're gonna end with final thoughts, but I believe this was a very, very, very good conversation. I like how Styles came in. I like the free flow of it instead of having, video after video after video. Everything doesn't have to always be so strategic. I like the free flow. I like the conversation. Stan, I appreciate you for coming up on the panel and
Thanks for
making
having
time. Of course, you're definitely welcome back anytime. But we're gonna do final thoughts, and we're gonna start with Sean, make our way over to R. Payne, down to Kenny, Stan, and then we'll end with Coach Ferg, and then I'll give my final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here. And thank you, chat. I appreciate you guys. My cousin was in the building this evening, but she had to go off. She's doing her political things. And Jordan, thank you. It's been a while since I've seen you. White School Podcast, just anyone who participated. Thank you. You guys know you are the second co-host. So I appreciate you guys as well. All right, Sean, go on. Start us out with the final thought.
Man, I was gonna say, and Shawana, I just saw her comment is kind of lending to what I was about to say. Simple is not common, and consideration is something that's necessary. She appreciates, she's considerate, and those two words is what's absent. And I won't just put it on the ladies only, because men are sometimes lacking consideration. As Coach Ferg said earlier, lacking respect. And I also agree with Coach Ferg that a lot of that could have been rooted in the crack era, because it separated the respect levels between generations. And it separated significantly. So I'll go back to what I started with, which is consideration, appreciation. Those are the things that are the reciprocation on our investments. And to your point, and thanks for correcting me, simple is not common.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you for being here this evening. R. Payne, final thoughts?
Yeah, it's so funny when you reach back into the past and try to kind of extrapolate where we are today. I know Trey Ferg is big on the crack era, but there's a lot of stuff that happened before the crack era that made us susceptible to take the hit. So we don't have to go through all of that kind of stuff. We were weakened. Right? Before the civil rights movement, I don't think the crack era would have been as effective because we had more families, more people in control. Once that broke up and we had a black flight from being in around black neighborhoods, we were susceptible to the bullshit that was out there. So when the crack era hit, that was right into the puppet master's hands. But but when we look at relationships and stuff, one of the things like I say to people, the return on investment is what you make it. Even today, and I'm gonna just say this, and I tell the young guys this: you got to put the bullshit aside. If you're looking for a wife, if you today are looking for a woman to be your wife, you have to have a certain amount of things that you can live with and you can live without. If you want a woman to have no kids, understand this: if she's black, you only have 30% of the gene pool to choose from. Because by the time they're 26 years old, more than 70% of black women have a kid. If you don't like that shit, you got to understand that. If you want her to be a certain way, if she has a job and she has a degree and all that kind of stuff, you have to understand that if you're going to put her out to work for 50 hours a week, just like you, then the tradition, the definition of tradition is changed, right? Because you don't want her to be out there toiling just like you are. The things you have to worry about is not worry about. The things you have to understand is that there's going to be guys in her life, in her job, that's going to be hitting on her. So you got to be on your square to make sure she's resistance to that kind of shit, just like you have to be. Right? So there's a different calculus. But the nature of men and women men are simple, right? I tell women this all the time. I don't care if you have a good man, a bad man. If he's heterosexual, he wants to bang you out. He might want to marry you first. He might want to do all this good shit first. But in the end, he wants to bang your ass out. Understand that. So it's not going to change. So we're a constant as men. And so being a constant, we're predictable and we could be manipulated. And so I'm just telling you, if you really want a wife, even in 2024, you have to be on your square and you have to be straight with the woman and you have to be willing to walk away. You have to be willing to walk away. If she doesn't want to understand what you're laying down and you won't see your return on investment in that first few conversations, then she's not for you. And you got to have enough gumption that there's another woman in the world for you. Not just, maybe that one is not right, but too many men acquiesce. If I don't get this box, I'll never get no box again. And a lot of men say, I can take the fact that she looks at me like I'm not her first choice. I'll end it here. One of the things that I didn't say it this way, but one of the things I was sure about with my wife, that she viewed me as her first choice, her first best choice when she married. And if you want to get married today, you have to have a reasonable assuredness that the woman views you as her first choice. Because if she doesn't, she's going to monkey branch and she's going to always be looking. And you have to look at her social media. You have to look at all this kind of stuff to see if she's still out there. If you don't have no pictures of you, she says you're her man, but none of the pictures in her social media have you in it, you need to walk away. You need to walk away. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of different things. Like I said, I can't tell you how to date, but I can tell you how to be married. And stop acting like asking a woman to marry you and letting them into your household and your inner circle is the same thing as asking her to be your girlfriend. It's not. It's absolutely not. All right, I'm going to
It's always a pleasure to have you on the panel. Kenny, your final thoughts?
Vet. Take your time. Love yourself first. Put certain things out there to see how someone responds. The worst thing you could do is allow someone in that space where they know your vulnerable secrets. They said men are not stoic. But then they said they want stoic men. They have a subsect of women that won't correct other women. We're in a space where it's a lot more complex. And if pain listened carefully, I prefer to be back then because the value system was a lot more stern. Today, you need to just do what you're supposed to do and pray you make the right decisions. Don't leap before you look at the depths below you. Hopefully, you'll find that one person after failing forward and bumping up your head that will be there for you to care for you. If not, I don't know what to tell you. But never give up, because I'm a big proponent that says the institution of marriage is a bad contract, but if you find the right one, you hit a lotto ticket. I'll play nice tonight. Go out there and find your forever. I landed there.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stan, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. My final thoughts on this one is going back to something that Coach Ferg was saying earlier about how we learn based off observation and hands-on, that's right in alignment with the way we think also. We have a left and a right brain. One side is creative and the other side is logical. It means it likes to work. It likes to put it in the work. Creative side is based off the observation, fairy tale things like that. So with that being said, we have to understand and know what kind of return on our investment that we want dealing with the people that we want to deal with or that we actually involve or have in our lives. And that goes for the men and the women. We have to know what we want and we have to be willing to invest. So, appreciate you having me up here, and y'all have a good night. This was a dope conversation.
Thank you. You're welcome to join us any other time. Probably again next week, Wednesday or one of the days, Wednesday or Thursday. Yesterday I had a leadership meeting, so
looking forward to it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Coach Ferg. Final thoughts, sir?
I mean, it's always a pleasure coming up here, and I'm glad that we get a sort of a mix between the young and the old, and we have a woman's point of view that's pretty logical. That's always good because I usually speak beyond the panel because I know, it's a lot of young adults who haven't gotten to this dynamic of being in these relationships and, and started having children and thinking about family. So, it's always good to have it. But, everybody made great points. It's just unfortunate. And just to clear up when I say the crack era, it was just a time frame that I refer to. I work with a lot of young people, a lot of young adults who were born under that drug and who were affected through their families by that. I talked to a lot of these, had a lot of conversations with adults and teenagers and kids that were growing up. And I was coming into my adulthood during that time. I was just lucky to have joined the military and was protected by that in a sense. So when I would come home and see this shit falling apart, I was like, thank God I'm not involved in it. So I was able to escape it in a sense. But a lot of my friends, male and female, that stayed within that, and it's around the country. If you pretty much didn't leave home after high school, you was pretty much subject to whatever happened. And I saw the effects of it falling apart. But right now, and I think it's important. It's hard to say. There's no one remedy to this. That's the dynamic of it, because as a nation of people, we always dealt with the systematic, constructions that limited us. We always dealt with that, but we still found a way to sort of work things out as a unit. The man and the woman worked together. My mother had 6 sisters, all of them were married. Everybody was married. So I understood that women, had a certain role and they all had good, strong babies. I was probably the wildest kid in all of my family because I smoked weed and had girlfriends, but I didn't do nothing stupid because I had a message coming from both parents. My parents didn't make excuses for my poor decisions. They held me accountable. And I think a lot of young adults didn't have that, I guess, that message to be held accountable. They've been made excuses. And young people understand that, what I'm saying, as they go, they take advantage of it. And now here we are today, they're adults. They're not holding children. A lot of young, children, unfortunate, they're the pawns in it. They're the one that's losing. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I come in. I focus on, because you 40-some-year-old, you already in your mindset. It would take a miracle from God. God would have to come down here and walk in your house and sit down and talk to you for you to change your mindset. But if you do want that change, you got to be willing to put in the work. It's not about nobody else at this time, not about how you were treated as a kid. It's not about the job you did or didn't get. But if you don't put in the work, you cannot be mad about the results you don't get. Don't spend the next 10, 15 years in your life and not trying to better yourself. It cannot happen. You'll be poor and your kids will be poor. It ain't gonna change. Only thing that's changed is the players. The game is still the same. So you just have to decide which line you want to be on. My last thing, the Olympics is coming. The Olympics is coming. Y'all got children, get y'all lazy ass kids outside, teach them how to do some flips, teach them how to skateboard, dance, Take them out to California. In the meantime, you get in your best shape, guys. Get in your best shape, ladies. So when you go out there, the world will see y'all. That 6-figure dude will see y'all. Somebody will find you, and they'll be willing to change your life. If not, shut the hell up and stop crying. Get out of their damn way. I don't know. So appreciate you. I'm just around because this shit is scary. Just scary.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone. Hank had dropped off super early, and I hope everything's okay with him. I just thought he was going to come back, and he just never did. So I hope he's okay. But thank you guys. Final thoughts for me. ROI. Where is the ROI, return on investment? And women were created to be helpers for men. God created a woman to be a suitable helper for a man. Literally took her from his rib, as it says in the Bible. But I believe that women, there's so many instructions for women in the Bible and for men. But there's so many instructions for women in the Bible. And I think it's because it helps us become a better helper for men. Now, if it's being read, if it's being taught, if it's being, listened to, I'm not quite sure. But I believe that women always need to renew their minds, men and women, but I'm just speaking to the women right now. Women always have to renew their minds. R.Payne has said something about women and his wife, and he said that, my wife is good to me and things of that nature, but she's still a woman. She still has the nature of a woman. When her mind is frantic, I have to bring order to it.
Well,
right?
Preston, let me ask you something. I know it's your last word, but you said something. In the backdrop of what you said, women are also receivers.
Right.
Of men. So in the backdrop of all the rest of that, the receiver part is what I think we're missing, because it's a natural thing for women to understand. Let me get. It's not a negative thing. And so I said this before, and I'm gonna end it here, and I'll let you go ahead and finish. Oh, I shouldn't say it that way. Men have to realize that there's emotional currency in all of us, and men burn credits. I know I burn credits with my wife. So as her being a receiver, I have to replenish what I take. And that's where a lot of men fall short. You got to understand that a woman has a certain level, and it doesn't take much, but you have to replenish that supply that you burn and maybe put a little bit more. It doesn't really take much. And I think a lot of men forget that. So their natural inclination as receivers, meaning that you got to keep giving me something, and it's not just sex. So if you want all these things from her, you need to understand that as a man, for her to take care of you, you're burning credits. And I burn my credits. I fully, but I always replenish them with my wife, and it doesn't take much. That's to make her understand that she's not doing it for nothing. Once you get that done, then you got a certain sabbatical going on, and so it goes with her nature. Right. So I mean, I'm just saying that. So that's just what I want to say. I didn't want to cut you off, but all the other stuff you said is spot on. But that one part about women being natural receivers from men or from people, you have to recognize that. And if you want a woman to be yours, you got to replenish that currency, because we all have a certain amount of emotional currency. But men, we don't. It doesn't weigh on us as much as it weighs on women.
And I agree with that. Thank you for adding that in there, because that is true. And in order for a woman not to feel like you straight up using her, you got to deposit, those emotional credits. So I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. But I do believe that, women, before they follow a man, who have you followed before? And in my household, it would be my mother. It would be the teachings of Christ and God and the Bible, just having that foundation. But it would be hard to know how to treat a man if I didn't see it, if I wasn't taught it, if I didn't read about it in the Bible. Like, it would be very hard to know I'd be very confused, very confused. And so I say all that to say that women do need to receive knowledge before they try to receive anything from a man, because you can receive everything from a man, everything that a man has to offer, but you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how to be reciprocal. Like Sean was saying, you don't know how to be reciprocal. You can receive all day. We can receive all day, but if we don't know how to put it into action and how to reciprocate certain things, because what you give me is not necessarily going to be what I give you, right? They say, men will give you the groceries, but the woman cooks the meal. Well, a man could give a woman a woman a year's worth of groceries, but she don't know how to cook a lick. It don't really mean nothing, right? And so women do need to sit down and really figure out how to follow those who have done it, who are doing it, who have done it correctly, who husbands have said, hey, look, I do receive this ROI. Like R. Payne said, I can't teach you how to date, but I can teach you on how to be married, right? And so those are the people that before you try to receive anything from a man, definitely be open to receiving the knowledge, the instruction, the correction, the provision of a man. And a lot of times that do come from, your mom and being in that marital relationship with your father. It's huge. It's monumental. You know what I mean? I forget who said it, but while my mom didn't teach me or didn't verbally say a lot of things until I got older to understand it, just seeing her doing the things that she did taught me a lot without her even having to say it. You know how they say, well, women will go to college for 4 years because they want to know that, you can do something for 4 years and be, dedicated day in and day out. There is no doubt in her mind if she's going to do it for my dad. She's going to do it. He has no doubt in his mind if she's going to do it. She's going to do it because they have that bond, they have that agreement, they have that foundation. And so, unfortunately, women aren't being raised in houses like that. But again, you can still get the teaching, the following, the knowledge from those around you who are doing it correctly. And you have to want that. Women have to want it, right? Like I said, one of the biggest returns on investment is you actually wanting to be there for that man and to serve him. Relationships are about service. That's another thing. If a woman don't have a heart and a mind to serve, then you can forget about it. If she only wants to receive, you can forget about it. Our pain, your wife is a woman and she's a receiver, but if she only received from you, you would get tired of that. You would find no use for her in your life because where is the ROI? Where is the reciprocation? And like Stan was saying, I think it was Stan, when he was saying how a lot of women nowadays, think it's slave work or they can't do, or maybe it was Styles saying that. It was Styles saying, a lot of women think, doing those things is slave work, but they don't realize the ROI they're getting because they only want to receive. So you have to have the mindset and a heart posture to want to be able to, or not be able to, but actually do it. And service is actually looking out for others at the expense of yourself. So like you said, if you folding the clothes and you washing dishes just so he don't come in and be yapping at you, you kind of have the wrong heart posture. You should want to do it so he comes into a peaceful environment. My dad, I don't think he ever folded clothes when I don't remember him picking up a sock. Okay. He did. I don't remember that. I don't remember him, washing dishes. Now that it's just him and my mom in the house. Yeah, he'll do it because he loves my mom. He'll do it because sometimes her hips are hurting, or different elements as you get older. But when we was younger, that was the example. That was the teaching. We were in action. Okay, it's action time. All right, with no cameras. But women have to realize that you're not the only one that should receive a return on investment, because men are investing a lot, including their lives. And if you don't see the importance of that, if you don't see the return on investment that you're getting on that, then you'll never see it. You'll never get it. And a man is not going to stick around for you to get it. So we as women have to understand that, we were made to be his helper. And sometimes you got to be made over and over and over and over again. But if that's what you got to do in order to really be able to receive a man and reciprocate what he is actually doing for you, and reciprocate in ways that will be complementary to him, be suitable for him, because that's what we are. We're helpmates that are suitable for him, that's perfect for him, that fits in place for him. I think Stan said it. R.O.I, your wife is a good wife for you, but she might not be a good wife for somebody else. She may not fit somebody else. She fits you. And so we just have to be mindful of those things. And I think these conversations help that. I think these conversations, push the needle towards those things. And I hope that, people get everything that we're trying to say, that we're trying to convey, that, the conversation, the free flow conversation. I love that this evening, the free flow conversation, because it took us in so many different directions, but it kept us still in the same ballpark of the R.O.I. And it opens a lot of eyes too. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who was on the panel, everyone in the chat. You guys join us next week. It's going to either be Wednesday or Thursday. If you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely follow me on Instagram, Real Precious Official. I let everyone know on there when we're going to go live. But I really do appreciate you guys. And as I always say, and I want to thank Darnell as well as Stanley for the Cash Apps. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. But as I say, closing all the time, be real with yourself so you could be real with everyone else. You guys have a great evening and a happy Friday.